I'm Tom.
And I'm Zeus.
And we're from Shout It Out Loudcast.
And this is Gene Simmons from Kiss.
And this is Ace Frehley. And when we want to listen to anything about football, music, Kiss, wrestling, country music, and more, we go to On the Flythe.
With Stevie Flythe and Jason Worden. Check them out.
Oh, yeah.
You are listening to On the Fly.
What's up, guys? On the Fly is back again tonight, and tonight we have a very, very special guest. The first time on the show, but this guy has done a Kiss podcast. You know, you can all tell we're all Kiss tards, but are we allowed to say that? Okay, we didn't offend anybody, did we? But
we're not going to fire ourselves, so yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't want any backlash. You know how these people can be now. But with us tonight.
These people, what do you mean by these people?
Do you know who these people that get offended by Kiss tards? I mean, come on, really?
There you go again.
Yeah, I said it again. But with us tonight from Podcast Rock City, Joe from Podcast Rock City. What's up, Joe?
Hey, how you doing?
Joe,
welcome, Joe. Nice to meet
you. He's been so gracious to help us out with a subject tonight that is it's the best of both worlds for us. We're dealing with Kiss and wrestling. So you put those together.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool. We've been like I said, we've talked about it. Me and Ward have talked about it before. We've been wrestling fans for a long time, back when we were kids. I'm sure Joe, it goes way back to. And Joe, you may, I was going to ask you this. What did you watch more of? I mean, being in Atlanta, did you watch more of the Crockett stuff, the NWA, or did you watch more of the WWF back in the day?
Well, so I grew up in Miami Beach, so Florida Championship Wrestling is where I cut my teeth. Oh yeah, Dusty Rhodes, Barry Windham was my first favorite wrestler.
Oh yeah.
I got hurt one year and I couldn't walk. I could walk, but I wasn't allowed to. Right. So I was laying on the couch on a Saturday, flipping through channels, stopped on wrestling, never watched it before. And Barry Windham was on there. And at the time he was the Yellow Dog.
Yeah, I remember.
Or it all worked itself out. And at the time I was like, wrestling's real. Okay. So, I must've been about 12 or 13, And so Kevin Sullivan, my first time I ever went to see wrestling was at a high school in Florida, in Miami. I saw Kevin Sullivan against Dusty Rhodes, Barry Windham. I can't remember who he wrestled. And I remember Hector Guerrero, I think, was wrestling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's the dad, I think. I just remember being about 14 rows from the ring. And he landed, one of the guys hit the floor. It was like in a gym, right?
Yeah.
He hit the floor and I felt it.
How you think that?
Wrestling's real. I remember thinking that, But I'll tell you something that I do remember, and I'll never forget it. Rey Mysterio's 619 move, that's the first time I ever saw it when I was about 12. And Hector Guerrero, I think it was Hector. I think that was the father. He did that move. Nobody was standing on the ring or anything. He threw somebody out, ran up and did that move. And I remember thinking that was the most badassery thing I ever saw.
Good old Hector. Yeah, I remember Hector. Hector turned into, you remember when they did I don't know if you remember or not, when they did the whole laser tag guy, the Lasertron that was in NWA, had the mask on. And
yes.
Hector.
Yeah. And then I got into the WWF, and my father, it used to come around about once a month in Miami. So my father would take me every month. And that was the first, I remember I saw Hogan every time. And then I remember I got the card, that said what the matches were, and
Right.
2 matches that happened that night were not on the card. One of them was Andre the Giant, who I was a huge fan of, and the other one was Jimmy Snuka. And Superfly came out, and I was just like, and when he jumped off that top, I would have swore he was near the ceiling of the building.
Yeah, he had some ups, but yeah.
Yeah. But we're recording at 10:15 tonight because I needed to watch AEW. I'm not joking. My girlfriend Karen and I, she used to tease me about watching wrestling until one day I was sitting in her living room and she was eating dinner or something, and Seth Rollins broke John Cena's nose. You guys remember that?
I remember that.
With a
Yes.
knee. And his nose basically wound up on the side of his face. And her son, who picked on me all the time, Josh, and her, before that match ended, were both sitting next to me going, so people really get hurt. I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
Because wrestling isn't fake. It's real. What's wrong with you? The storylines are written, but people could get killed. It's like watching a NASCAR race.
Yeah, I do camera work for a local wrestling organization. I'm like, and the first time they asked me to do it, I'm sitting there ringside, and I'm like, holy crap, these guys are, they're flying all over the place, and you're just trying to stay out of the way. But yeah, there's been a couple of guys get hurt in there that you kind of, at first you're kind of looking at like, is this part of it, or are they really hurt? And I mean, you don't have all the referees coming at the small one coming down there to do the whole X thing or anything like that. But it's been a couple of them get hurt, and and being at ringside and hearing, and I mean, helping put the ring together. I've done that before, and seeing what's under that ring. All you see is the mat, and everybody's like, oh, it's just a big trampoline. No, it's not a big trampoline. It's like boards,
plywood.
It's 2x4. I mean, not 2x4s, but long boards that they put under, they fix under there, and it can't be pleasant to land on.
Who's your favorite all-time wrestler,
I'm
Joe?
a big.
We've done our top 10 before, so we're just kind of curious about yours.
That's a really tough one, man. It's like I love Triple H. I love the fact that it felt like every time I was seeing Triple H, he did something new. There was always a little surprise in the match. He talks real well. He looks the part,
Yeah, he does.
Chris Jericho is.
Oh, Jericho's awesome.
Super way up there, when it comes to the older guys, like I said, Barry Windham, I loved. Any of the Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
Any of that. Blackjack Mulligan.
Yep.
Any of those guys when I was growing up. I mean, yeah, I'm 52. I loved all that crap. And you're seeing my Kiss room, but there's a few wrestling items here. I've been to 4 WrestleManias, and I have all the programs, and I've got them signed. Like, I would always save my money and go to the Access,
Yeah.
And I would just wait in the like the old timers line. So they would have 3 wrestlers up there, and I would go and meet them. So like Piper, and then Rocky Johnson, and then Snuka was they're all 3 of them are up there. So I'm getting them to sign my program. And then only times I ever swayed and went and met other people, was like I'm at WrestleMania in New Orleans, WrestleMania 30. So I was there when Taker lost.
Oh gosh,
that was crazy. I met Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper. I met them all 3 of them, and they signed my book. And then, can't think of many others. One time at WrestleMania, I was walking down this hallway, and in a little chair on a little table they had a man sitting there in this little area where they had like all this memorabilia. I come around the corner and I have my book with me, and I looked at who it was. I just threw it down in front of him. It was Harley Race. And
Wow.
He signed my tour book.
Oh, nice.
But I have really gone out of my way to meet all of my favorite wrestlers. Anytime they're doing something in town, I try to go just because I want to, meet as many as I possibly can. Over here, you can't really see it, but I have a heavyweight title.
I see it.
And it's signed by.
You're on mute.
You muted yourself, Joe. Hold on. Let me see. I can't unmute you.
Yes, on his side.
Yeah, it's got to be on yours because I'm trying to unmute you now. Can't unmute your guest. Their mic isn't connected. Oh Lord, what is going on? Hold on. There you go. There you go.
Anyway, so I've just, like I said, I've really gone out of my way to meet as many wrestlers as I possibly could, and it's been really important to me. I just went to the Birmingham Comic-Con, and I got on my belt, I got Trish Stratus and Lita.
Oh.
I did a picture with them too. I look like a pervert. I'm just
more power to you, bud. More power to you. You
and
get
then,
between those two.
Yeah, Trish Stratus is still wow.
Yes.
And then but everybody's on that belt. As many people as I could possibly get. The Demon Del Torborg is on it.
Yes.
Jericho is on it. Bob
Backlund.
I'm sorry, I can't. Bob Backlund's on it. All kinds of stuff. I got Gene Okerlund on my tour books. I got William Regal. So many names, man, that it's just like if I made a list, you guys would be like, "Damn, what did you do?" I was just in the right place.
Plenty of them right there.
Yeah, right place at the right time, and it's just my whole life I've had two hobbies: Kiss and professional wrestling. I've stuck with them my whole life, so it's been very important to me to do certain things, including meeting these people that I grew up just loving.
Yeah,
and they made my everybody know, if you're a wrestling fan, especially when you're a teenager, that helped make your childhood awesome.
So do you like Star Wars, Joe?
Oh yeah, huge Star Wars fan. Look,
triple threat right there.
There you go.
Look at this. I have a few Star Wars things, not a lot. But like in the room, there's just enough of the little stuff. I got a bottle of the bubbly.
Oh Lord, Jericho.
Chris Jericho champagne.
A little bit of bubbly.
And I like I said, I don't have a lot. I mean, Kiss is a lot to spend your money on, man. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
But like in February, Karen and I are going on the Jericho cruise. We skipped the Kiss one this year to do the Jericho cruise, something different. And Joey from my show is going to be playing in quarantine, so this is an opportunity for us to hang out with him again. And I know I talked a lot. I'm sorry, but
that's great.
I'm passionate about professional wrestling. I love it.
Yes,
it's I really hope that they can fix AEW. I feel like it's kind of broken right now.
It is.
I feel like it's kind of broken right now, but I think that it's possible. They have too much talent. I know that sounds awful, but it's too much talent. And I hate to sound like ungrateful too, but I am not like a lot. I know a lot of wrestling fans that could tell you every person that comes out of Japan or everybody, but I've never had that opportunity to watch that.
Me either.
But when AEW started, my girlfriend and I, we loved watching it because we were seeing all new wrestlers except for a few. You had Cody, you had Jericho, you had a couple more, but that was it. Now it just seems like it's like being a Cowboys fan, and all of a sudden the new, the quarterback of the Steelers is on the team.
Yeah, I'm like you. I think AEW, it started off hot, and and that was one of the reasons because you didn't, you were seeing new wrestlers every week.
Yeah.
And I'm like you. I don't see all these guys from Japan and all this stuff, but these guys that were coming from independents. But then it kind of, I think, especially now with that whole backstage crap with Punk and the Bucks and Omega, that kind of put a damper for a lot of people. And I don't know. I'm hoping they'll fix it soon. It seems like since McMahon's left and Triple H took over, WWE is going in the right directions because they were going in a bad direction.
He's
for a
wanting to
while,
come
too.
back. The news broke this week. He's trying to come back, but those two
trying, but
I don't
allegations
think
got
it's
to do
gonna.
it.
They're not
it's
going to let
happen.
him come back.
No,
I,
not with all that crap going on.
I don't really watch like I used to. I don't have cable so much anymore, so I watch more AEW than I did WWE because I like Jericho's. I like
Yeah.
But hell, I was on Facebook today. Hell, they're going to be here in San Antonio AEW next week. They haven't advertised it. Nothing. It must be a sold out thing. It's not a very big arena. It's one of the first times I saw Kiss at. It's a place. It's an older place where Elvis played back in the 50s.
What's
But
what the capacity is there?
Oh God, probably 6,000-7,000.
It may be sold out.
Like I said, it was a yeah, because it had to be because it's like wow. There and I saw the MJF is I don't know who he's fighting, but it was like, damn. And I was like, if I would have known, I may have gone because it's like the Royal Rumble is going to be here next month. And that's the one event I watch. I watch that. The other ones, and I watch Mania and the Hall of Fame is highlight of the year for me.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you. You got no excuse not to go. Tickets are $30.
That's probably why it's sold out.
It's not sold out.
Not sold out.
No.
If he's saying tickets for $30.
Yeah, you can see all the blue.
Yeah.
You should
Stevie,
go.
you want to send me an early birthday present, Christmas present? Go ahead. You got my email address, man. I'm waiting.
I got you.
There's plenty of seats. I mean, it looks like this is what I could tell you. There's maybe let's say if there's 40 sections that are going to be in front of the stage, where they come out, I would say 15 are sold out. The rest are their seats. Now I don't know how many. I can tell you.
Check it out. I'll check it out next week.
There's plenty of seats. I've gone twice. I was at the one where Cody had the cage match against Wardlow and did the backflip off the top of the cage.
Yeah.
I was at that. That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think
Cody's something.
That was the first time I got COVID.
I've been there. How many times have you had it?
Twice,
Yeah.
we think, because it was before everything ever got locked down. But Karen kept telling me, "I'm not surprised you were sick." There was a guy 2 rows behind us just coughing and coughing and coughing, and then it was like the worst sick I've ever been in my life.
Yes.
This is embarrassing, but I'm not joking. This is how sick I was. And you know me from my show. I'm not afraid to embarrass myself. This is the truth. I was so sick and I did not want to get out of bed because of, the chills and everything.
Yes.
That I literally thought to myself, I can afford another mattress. I'll just pee right here.
I never got that bad.
I did not do that, just for the record.
Yeah, I got you.
Because
I
once
didn't
my
get that
brain
bad.
started thinking about how much money it was going to cost.
That
But
could be
I
spent on something Kiss related.
I got COVID back in January. I didn't have a damn symptom.
Not one.
But 6 months later, I got the flu real bad, and I think that's a long COVID. I was sick for 2 weeks. I think there's a lot of crap that you get down the road that you may not have COVID, but it's like a virus. It just F's you up. So
Yeah.
But
I lost like 20 pounds in a week.
Holy crap.
Yes.
I need to get it again.
going to the Cowboys
only
game
did
and
that
being
way.
around 60, 70,000 people, I was like, hell, if I don't get COVID this week, I won't. I mean,
Speaking of the Cowboys.
Speaking of that, let's hear about you because if you guys don't know, after we did the show last week, Warden text, we said, "Hey, a buddy of mine's got another seat on a bus trip to the Cowboys game," and I said, I said, oh, okay, they're playing the Texans, the worst team in the NFL. And I said, let me tell you something. If y'all happen to lose that game, that means you have jinxed them. You know you're a jinx. Just joking with them.
Yeah.
Well, if you didn't watch the game on Sunday, the game was in doubt right up to the end for the Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys were getting beat, and it looked like what they had. Texas had it 4th and goal from the one and
Yeah,
couldn't
they
get
stopped
it in.
us. As Stevie knows, I'm a Longhorn. I'm a diehard Texan Longhorn. And my favorite player right now is number 88, who's a former Sooner. CeeDee Lamb. Well, I was going to watch my buddy's place with their dogs, and he goes, "Hey man, I'll get you a t-shirt." I'm like, "Cool." So of course, I go, "Give me a CeeDee Lamb t-shirt." And of course he texts me like Thursday, "Hey, we got a chance to go, blah, blah, blah." I think it was on Friday. It was Friday, I think. And of course, first thing I thought of was, I don't get a CeeDee Lamb shirt now. No, I'm just kidding. They gave me a freaking, I've watched their dogs a lot when they're gone. They travel a lot. And they're like about 10 minutes down the road. They got me a damn CeeDee Lamb jersey, an authentic CeeDee Lamb jersey, which I wore the game proudly. 3XL from my fat ass. And dude, I may not have jinxed the Cowboys, but I sure as hell jinxed CeeDee, because man, we've been in the running for Odell Beckham. We got some guy from the Colts who's pretty good, they say. But my question is, we don't have a damn quarterback to throw it to him.
You paid all that money for him.
Colin the Herd was talking about the Cowboys, all areas are good. They're weakest at quarterback. I think it was the guy that Matt Ryan and the guy from the Texans, who we barely beat, are the only two other quarterbacks that have more interceptions than Dak. And you have interceptions when you're like a Brett Favre or an Aaron Rodgers, but you also have completions. And I love the Cowboys. I wasn't a believer in the Eagles. I'm a believer in the Eagles. The Cowboys aren't going to go very far with this quarterback. I would beg to have Romo back, because Romo didn't have this good team as Dak does. But I'm a diehard, and we'll see what happens. But I'm also, and Stevie knows this, I'm not a delusional Cowboy. I'm pretty damn critical of them. I love my Cowboys. But I tell you, everybody in that freaking stadium was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe we're losing to the Texans." I'm like, "Hello, I've been watching the last 6 years." I go back to the Landry Deers, brainwashed from the beginning. Why those evil Steelers kicking our ass in those Super Bowls?
Evil Steelers, yeah.
I am probably, Troy Aikman's my favorite quarterback of all time, or Cowboy of all time, Jimmy Johnson. But that team, since he left, the bright light was Parcells. Parcells built a team with Witten and Ware and all them. But man, it's just, as long as Jerry Jones, what's going to happen? They're going to win in the first. They'll lose the first round. They'll probably play Brady, or they'll probably play San Francisco, and they'll knock us out. McCarthy's going to get fired. They want Sean Payton. Sean Payton has the same amount of rings as Mike McCarthy won, and they're going to blame the coach. But this team has no discipline, because it starts with the owner. And all I got to say about that, I'm cautiously optimistic they'll do it. But the Eagles, probably the better team in football. So that's my feel.
I'm gonna say this. Is Joe's? Oh, there you go. I thought he had frozen.
He's laughing.
No, I was just thinking that we could coin the term and cowtard now. And
I think I'm a bigger Kiss one than I am a Cowboys, because Kiss doesn't let me down too much. I've saw them 3 times on the end of the road tour, and people hate them. But hey, it's Kiss. They're playing. They could be playing to a tape. I don't care. There's fire. There's Gene Simmons. There's Paul Stanley. I mean, I'm a bigger than I am a Cowboy fan. So
I will say this as a coach, and I know I don't have an owner, but the discipline part starts with the coach. If McCarthy, they had
that problem before. They had this with Jason Garrett, so it's something goes deeper. Jason
Garrett, clap man. That's all he did. That's all he does.
And have you seen him on?
He's terrible.
He's
terrible. He's as bad as Jason Witten was on Monday Night Football. But yeah,
Ooh, wow, man. Talking to
Yeah.
Jasons. What the hell, Stevie? Are you
Jason
say as
Witten,
bad
I'm
as Jason
sorry.
on the fly? Man, is that
Hold
next
up.
or what?
Yeah, exactly. And Warden Witten, same thing.
Oh, I
Jason
wish I
Witten
wouldn't be here.
and who was it? Booger McFarland and Jason Witten on Monday Night Football. That was horrible. Horrible.
Well, I
It's-
saw Booger and I saw RG3 defending Dak, and I'm like, RG3 shouldn't be really talking about how good
No.
quarterbacks are. He hasn't been good since Baylor. Wasn't.
Ah,
Well, now that we've done the NFL part of On the Fly today,
Stevie likes
in
it
the
because
contract.
I'm
It's
not
in
a
the
sports
contract,
I'm not
yeah.
a sports fan. I like the Cowboys. I like the Cardinals.
he didn't keep up with a
I
lot.
follow more baseball than I do anything. So
Are you really a big Cardinals fan?
Oh yeah, I grew up in Missouri, so I'm a big St. Louis Cardinals fan.
You want to hear something crazy?
Is it bad?
No,
You sitting there ragging on my Cowboys. There's no bad news about my Cardinals.
For a very short time, I was in a band with Josh Suter,
Okay.
Bruce Suter's son.
Yeah. What was the name of the band?
Shit, if I can't remember. I just remember being in Bruce Suter's house, and he had like all the, because he just passed away. He had all the reliever, the Rolaids reliever of the game trophies and his Cy Young and all that
Wow.
stuff in the house. And yeah, that was well, there's my story about this. Sorry.
Yeah, you're getting
Cardinals
older.
tie-in.
You're getting older when players that are good 10, 15 years younger than you are starting to retire. Like Pujols and Yachty this year, I'll be like, damn, I'm old.
It's really
No,
disappointing.
the thing that's really making me feel old is when you see all these guys you grew up like idolizing and watching on TV passing away. I mean, like Joe mentioned earlier, talking about his favorite wrestler was Barry Windham. Barry Windham was in the hospital last week in intensive
Came
care.
close.
Yes, and that's not the first time he's came close either. He had a massive heart attack, which I think they stabilized him now. But you think about that. I don't care. You look at Barry Windham. I'm still see him as that lean guy that was lanky, but he could fly all over the ring. And they said never was in the gym. Never went to the gym. Arn Anderson has said that several times. He said he had natural strength, natural ability, but he never hit the gym.
Wow.
I think the one I remember him mostly for that. I mean, I always like Barry Windham. I remember him. I mean, from like when he was with Tunda in the WWF.
US Express.
But I think my favorite Wyndham era was when he was the Western States champion, because the dude wasn't with the Horsemen. He was just by himself, and he was just there every week defending the title. I think that was my favorite era of Wyndham.
That was the UWF title.
No, it was an NWA title.
No, it was a UWF Western States title. See, NWA bought UWF.
Oh, okay.
Because
is that what I didn't know. I mean, I just knew he was the Western States champion.
But you look at Starrcade, I think it was 87, because Dr. Death, Steve Williams was a UWF champion. He fought Wyndham, was the Western States champion. And then I think they took it off Wyndham, gave it to Larry Zbyszko, and then that was when Wyndham and Luger got together and won the tag belt, which was the loudest I've ever heard a crowd. I mean, I wasn't there, but that Greensboro Coliseum when Luger and Wyndham beat Tully and Arn for the belts, that place went nuts.
And he's always he's always a guy that I thought should have been bigger. I mean, I think he should have. I mean, Luger had the look, but God, Wyndham should have been. I mean,
Barry had natural ability.
Yeah, he did.
He just
Luger wasn't good on the mic. Wyndham was good on the mic, but it's just Wyndham is just another one of those guys that just should have been bigger, in my opinion.
Well, Wyndham was one of those guys you could pull for babyface or heel.
Did he ever win the title, the NWA title?
He won the NWA. He won it it was 93. He beat Muta, the great Muta, and then lost it to Flair when Flair came back.
I just remember he was in the WWF for early 90s as the Widowmaker.
Yeah,
he looked like his dad, and it was like, oh wow, that's Barry Windham.
He was the Widowmaker, but then and they were going to give him a push.
I think he got hurt, right?
No, his dad and his brother had some legal problems and he pretty much took a break for a while until that got straightened, and he came back. I think he came back with WCW then.
Who was his brother?
Kendall,
right?
Kendall, yeah.
Yeah, they had some. I mean, they had some serious legal trouble. I think Kendall pulled time. I don't think Blackjack ever did, but Kendall, I think he pulled time. But and I may be wrong on that.
Have you watched that what I told you to watch yet?
I still haven't watched that. I've got to watch it though.
I haven't watched the Mid-South one, but the Tales from the Territory, the NW. I grew up a world class. I didn't like the world class one because I think they skipped over a lot of the good stuff. Tales from the Dark Side was a lot better, but that the one they did with Crockett, that was talking about the plane crash back when Mr. Wrestling 2 had to wrestle because they had to like disprove that he was on the plane. He had a broken back. I mean,
yeah,
I learned a lot about Crockett I didn't know about. That was really good.
Well, I'll tell you this. There's another story. I don't know if they talked about it on that with the plane crash. Flair was in the hospital. Well, Flair and Wahoo were in this big Wahoo McDaniel in this big feud, and Wahoo went to the hospital. That's back then kayfabe, you can't be seen there, but these people thought that Wahoo was coming there to finish Flair off. They thought he was coming to kill him. They had Wahoo, they had police there and all of that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's how much kayfabe was back then.
Speaking of kayfabe, back when I was into wrestling, I grew up. First got into it with the Von Erichs, and I can remember when they found Mike Von Erich dead.
Yeah.
And the first thing I thought of, I wonder if another wrestler did it. I believe that crap. And it's
yeah.
Oh my God, who killed him? Was it that Brian Adidas? He just fought that guy. I thought crap like that. It's a different kid.
Yeah.
It's a different era than what, and you know what? And I'll tell Joe this story. I don't know if I ever told you, Stevie. You know what killed it for me? Of course, my dad was telling me it was fake and everything's fake. I was in the Dallas airport one time, sitting there. I was flying. My grandmother lived in Dallas. I was flying back to San Antonio. My mom worked for Southwest, so I would go up there weekend because they had a 2-hour wrestling show on Saturday nights with the Von Erichs because they were huge in Texas. So I'm sitting there and I see somebody. I was like, "Oh crap, that's Eric Embry." And then I see these other. This is of course later when it USWA or whatever. All the damn wrestlers are walking off the freaking plane together. And I'm like 12 or 13. I'm like, son of a, and it's just like, it's like it killed it for me. And it just let me down.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
But
I still watch it. So go figure,
Yeah. It's fun.
The question started for me, I think like at 87. I was like 14. And it didn't really affect me, but I was kind of questioning when you see the Iron Sheik and Hacksaw Duggan get arrested in a car together.
Pot position too, right? Yeah.
They're supposed to be like this big feud at the time. I was like, okay, well, man. But after a while I said, nah, that's just a coincidence. But anyway.
And I remember when it really got out of hand when I had like second row for Raw. This is back when they record 4 hours. And it was funny. Triple H came to the ring when he came with the girls. And the model he came with was a girl I went to high school with. So I'm over there kind of like talking, hey, Michelle, what's going on? She was like talking, look what Triple H is like going to beat me up and stuff. Him and Sean were fighting each other and they were sitting there just talking to each other. I'm like, dude, make it look real. My God. They just totally shit on the business, man.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
It was so obvious. I think Kevin Nash and Scott Hall were still there. So this is before the Embrace. And they were just sitting there talking like, hey, we're going to go have a beer afterwards. And I'm like, really? And I don't know.
You should be doing that in front of the crowd, but especially if you're supposed to be trying to kill each other. But yeah, I'm trying to kill you now. Let's go get a beer later on.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I come up with this a while back, and I was just looking for the right people to do this top 10, and I was listening.
But nobody
to
else is available. That's why I'm here. He wanted you, Joe, but it's like, I'll get Warden on there too.
Yeah, I'll let him tag along. But I heard Joe talking one night about wrestling on Podcast Rocks, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna reach out just to see if Joe was gracious enough. We thank you for coming on and doing this.
Yeah.
It's
it's my pleasure. It's fun.
top 10 Kiss songs that could be wrestlers' entrance themes. So what we'll do, we'll start at number 10, and I'll let Joe go first since he's the guest. Joe, then Warden, and we'll go from there.
So we're gonna do it like we always kind of.
Yeah,
We're gonna.
we'll do
We're
it.
just gonna go through our list, and if like your song is on my list, we'll just talk about it when it's our turn.
That's right.
Right. Okay. So, but now I wasn't supposed to like pick a specific wrestler to go
No,
with the song, right?
no.
Okay, good.
Just a song.
All right. So I put a little description of what I would want the wrestler to be like, though.
I got you. I like
okay.
that.
Now some of this is self-explanatory. So I'm going to start with number 10, and I'm going to tell you it's going to be too simple. It's too obvious. Number 10 is War Machine. And I will tell you that I remember now here in Atlanta on Saturday nights, back when I was a little kid, there used to be like 6 hours of wrestling. Every show would come on one after the other, and they'd be an hour long, and I would watch them. And even Glow, I would watch Glow because I loved Hollywood.
Gorgeous lady.
Glow was great.
I loved Hollywood and Vine, and I still to this day have a huge crush on Hollywood. I don't know. Do you guys know Ryan from Ace's band?
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
That's his girl.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you get a chance, go online and take a look. That's his girl, Hollywood. She's been in all the shows about Glow, and she was even, I think, in the TV show.
Have you watched that show? Is that good? Is that a good show?
I liked the first season. The second one got a little too serious for me. But yeah. So, all right. So you want me to go through my list? War Machine, Bob Bullet Armstrong. He came out to that song.
Well, you know who else came out to that too?
Who?
And I don't know if you remember.
Oh, I do.
He was there for a short time with Baby Doll as a matter, the Warlord. Because I remember. Yes, I remember it was 86 because he came. They were at Dorton Arena and he came out, and Baby Doll was mad. This was right before Baby Doll went heel, and he came out to War Machine. I was like, that song sounds familiar, and then I was like, that's Kiss. That's War Machine.
Are you talking about the Warlord that rips off Jimmy's makeup?
Yeah,
we talked about.
Yep, that's the one.
All right, so let's see.
Also,
yeah.
But we go through each individual. You don't go through the whole list, right?
Yeah, you don't have to go through it. We're going to go through it like I'll do my
Oh, number. Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
Also, Taz came out to that song in ECW.
Really?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, War Machine. He came out to
All right.
Yeah.
War Machine is done.
All
Any
right,
of you guys had it?
I will be talking about that later on. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't have it on my list because it was too obvious. Because it's like it's been used before, so I got the band right this time. Like unlike earlier. So mine is this song gets a lot of hate and a lot of people don't like it, but when I think of maybe definitely probably in the 80s, like an 80s wrestler, maybe I don't know, maybe a Gino Hernandez. Gino Hernandez would be good because he's not American. All American Man. Just talking about like coming to the ring. I mean, a character like Gino, just a heel. I'm a cocky son of a bitch. I've been to St. Louis. All that stuff. But I always thought, I mean, when I first heard All American Man, I was like, man, that'd be a good wrestling song. Yeah. That's always been like one of my favorites. All American Man. Good heel song.
Back in the day with NWA, they had, I think everybody had an entrance song, and they didn't know anything about paying royalties on it. So they were just using, we'll use whatever song you want to. And I think somebody came on. I don't know if it was Bischoff. It may have been Bischoff come along and said, are you guys paying royalties on this thing? And he said, because if not, you're going to get sued. And all of a sudden you hear Michael Hayes does a whole new soundtrack for everybody. But yeah.
I remember what I remember, and what got me into Black Sabbath was Iron Man from the Road Warriors.
Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty badass.
So my number 10 is probably a little low on the list, but and it was used as the ill-fated demon that came out of God of Thunder with Brian, when Kiss went live on Nitro that night, and Bryan Adams comes out as the Demon, and I guess he didn't like that idea because he ditched that quick. But yeah, that was going to be the whole. The plan was to have 4 guys. All in Kiss make up like a faction, which I thought, it's a bad idea, but as a Kiss fan, that sounded pretty cool that they were going to have a Kiss faction. But yeah, God of Thunder is my number 10. And yeah, that night, I think I still have a VHS of that night on Nitro when the Demon came out.
Well, I'll tell you guys something interesting about that. So the first podcast to ever have Dale Torborg on was my show.
Right.
Near the very beginning, like when we had first started, because Lee Westy on our show at the time, she was friends with him from the gym. And she got in touch with him. He came on. And one of the things that he told us that was real interesting, and the whole interview is still online if you want to go and find it, but
yeah,
it's from almost 10 years ago now. Gene Simmons was at a party and Vince McMahon was there, and Vince McMahon walked over to Gene and said, we should really get a Kiss wrestler in the WWE. He said, oh yeah. And he said, oh, that sounds like a good idea. And apparently, like a day or two later, he called Eric Bischoff and said, hey, how would you? And so now here's where it gets even more interesting. Vince McMahon was so upset about this that somebody apparently, there's a referee that did an interview. He said he showed up to work one day wearing a Kiss shirt and he got fired by Vince McMahon.
Wow. Talking about holding a grudge.
It's like, I can't imagine it being any other reason. He can't come up with any other reason. But yeah.
No way Vince would have paid what Eric paid him. No way.
Oh gosh, they paid him all.
Yeah, they paid him a lot more. And I will tell you guys that God of Thunder was my number 9. So we could just
okay.
Yeah, and just because it was already used, but that was my number 9. Perfect song for a demon wrestler kind of person, a dark wrestler. Yeah.
I remember when the Demon debuted, and I remember looking at it, being a huge Kiss fan. I'm more, and Stevie knows this, I'm more of an 80s Kiss fan. I didn't get into the Kiss until the Asylum era. So when they got back together, a union, of course I'd go see them. I wasn't real big. I didn't buy a lot of the stuff that came out. I think I got a Kiss clock and some, but I didn't buy a lot of it because I wasn't a real big fan as I was 10 years earlier, so to speak. So I saw this and I'm like, it's not going to work. And it's WCW. They're going to mess it up. but I kind of liken that when they had the Demon debut, kind of like when they hatched the egg on wrestling like 10 years ago.
The Goblin.
Yeah, and I was like, it's just not going to work. And I remember him coming out and wrestling, and great athlete, amazing everything, but man, no heat, no pop, nothing. It was just I would just like to see who they would have them like feuding with. Would have been, because they went later on with that No Limit with Master P and Rey Mysterio. They were the Filthy Animals, the rap guys, and that was what started the whole Rapids crap with Wyndham and Duncombe and Hennon. I don't know if the Kiss would have got in the middle of that or what. And you would think Kiss and wrestling would go together, but I don't think they. I think they were such in a hurry to get Gene and Kiss away from McMahon. They were fighting so much they just kind of pushed it out there. I mean,
Eric Bischoff hated it.
Yeah, he
didn't.
I
don't blame him.
All.
Yeah, if you get a chance, listen to that interview. It's pretty eye opening.
Yeah, but if Vince wants him, hey, we'll get him.
Yep.
Yeah.
All Bischoff was looking at then was like, if we get him away from Vince, that's another feather in my hat.
Yep.
All right, Ward, what's your number 9?
Okay, my number 9 is from the 80s. And this would be like an 80s heel. Like there were a lot of Ric Flair knockoffs in the 80s, like Buddy Landell. There was some guy that he wrestled down here in Southwest Championship Wrestling in San Antonio, Tully Blanchard's dad's promotion. And I can't remember who he was, but he came out to Dire Straits' Money for Nothing with the guitar part. I can't remember the guy, but he was a Ric Flair clone. He had the robe. He walked out slow. I can see one of those coming out to All Hell's Breaking Loose, kind of with
yeah,
because
that's
it's
a
not
good-
really fast, but it's like, and you're just kind of walking out slow. A Ric Flair knockoff. That's what I see somebody doing this.
I like that.
Okay. Okay. All right. So my number 9. That's not All Hells didn't make my list. It's probably a
One of
honorable
your
mention.
75 honorable mentions.
Dude, if you look up here, it's like a whole page of stuff up here I could have used.
I imagine.
But yeah, it was hard. It was hard to narrow it down. My number 9 is it's probably going to be a little surprise here, but I could see the way the song
Torpedo
starts
Girl.
off.
I knew it. Torpedo Girl. Yeah.
I'll tell you this. Do you remember that enhancement talent, the Mulkey Brothers?
Oh yeah,
The
that should be their
white-headed guys?
song.
Yeah, Torpedo Girl would be their song.
Didn't
That's
they
how
win
bad
like
it is.
they won like one match, right? They're
They
like
won
the
one-
Horowitz of
that's
the NWA.
That started Mulkey Mania.
Yeah,
But my number 9 is the way it starts off. I just like it. I think it would be like somebody high energy guy coming to the ring. Baby Driver with that. Dun, 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 dun. You see somebody come flying around the ring, slapping hands with the fans. I think.
Careful,
Baby
Stevie.
Driver
That sounded pretty close. You may get a copyright infringement for that little read.
I
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
already
be
have.
careful.
Probably already have.
You're gonna get dinged, man.
If we were live,
good
we
choice,
would be
good
off
choice.
right now. Yeah, but
I-
Baby
you know,
Driver with that opening
that's-
riff.
That's one of my favorite Peter Criss songs, and I didn't even have it on my list. I didn't even think about that one. There's so many.
Yeah.
A good
Baby
one.
Driver, but that would be a high energy. That would be no, I wouldn't put that with Jericho, but my number 8 will probably be a Jericho entrance in the 80s. We'll get to that in a minute. All right, Joe, what you got at number 8?
My number 8 is Christine 16.
Ooh,
For a girl wrestler. And all right, so this is what my girlfriend Karen wrote. So the girl would have to be wearing a slutty Catholic schoolgirl outfit.
easy Warden, easy Warden. I see you.
You're not gonna play that part where Gene talks, are you? That's not the intro part, is it?
No, that's awful. Nowadays,
Yeah,
that's
pretty bad.
nowadays you go, wow.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so Christine 16 though, I mean,
Yeah, that would be-
that'd be good for. I wrote for a few that could be for girls. I don't know if you guys did that.
No, I didn't, but that's cool. But I see smoke was coming out of Warden's ears when you were talking about the girl with the Catholic stuff on. He was like, "Oh God!" But
Is that
I
do it
just-
for you, Warden, or is it something that you don't like?
No, Stevie gives me crap because I don't know. I don't know if it's because I don't know. I don't want to get religious, but I'm not very religious, so I don't know if
oh,
you
that
would
ain't
thought that
why.
would offend me.
That ain't why. No, I'm just saw your face. You're like, "Ugh."
Well, I am the only single guy on the show, evidently. so,
Exactly.
hey, so.
Yes.
I actually broke out the old "Kiss My Ass" home video last night, and I listened to the Jim Blossom sing "Christine 16," and they did the whole. Yep, that's a
I'm
very
prepared.
very underrated home video. It's not as good as Extreme Close Up, but it's got a lot of great stuff on it. But the Jim Blossom singing "Christine 16" and doing the talking part, I was like, okay, because the older the older the song gets, the creepier it gets with that part.
It's super creepy.
So you're talking
Yes.
about either that or Funky Cole Medina, right?
Yep. All right, Ward. Number 8 for you.
This would have probably been a better song for the Demon. I would kind of see this, especially when you see the Gene's performance on this on San Francisco. Watching You, just that kind of where he's in that demonic pose. One of his best things in that when he's singing that song. Yeah. And I think that would have been better than God of Thunder. Of course, God of Thunder is like his signature song, but Watching You is just so just a wicked song, man.
Heck yeah.
There was one that didn't make my list that probably should have been on the list now that I'm thinking about it, but we'll talk about that when it's over. That did not make my list either. Watching You didn't, or Christine 16, but good choices. I wouldn't have thought about the girl wrestle, but good job, Joe.
Thank you.
That's definitely going to etch in Warden's brain for a little while.
You get the guest of the week honors today, Joe.
Exactly.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So my number 8, this would be an 80s let's say Jericho started off with a Smoky Mountain with Lance Storm, with the Heat Seeker or something like that. I think.
Right.
I can't remember. Yeah, but I wouldn't say that this would be theirs, but like a '80s Jericho clean baby face, and I know he would love this choice. Turn On Tonight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See him come to the ring with that. You know how. I don't know if you remember. Were you watching Nitro when Jericho started on Nitro, Warden? He was like 100% pure baby face, slapping hands with the crowd, even going up against the railing and let the crowd touch him and all this.
Like Rocky Maivia.
Yeah, it was sick. It was almost sickening. But I mean, Jericho was still good. But then when he started turning heel and did the whole throwing a temper tantrum, that's when you were like, oh, okay, here we go. And the rest is history with Jericho. But I can see Jericho coming to ring that. Turn On Tonight, my number 8.
I think Jericho would probably come to the ring with anything off Crazy Nights. He loves that album so much.
Yes. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, Joe. Are you a fan of I'll Fight Hell to Hold You? Because that song gets a lot of hate. I love that song. I know Paul.
I think it's a good song. I think it's a good song. Yeah. I don't mind that song at all. I don't know why it gets hate.
I don't know either. I like that whole album because that's when I really got into Kiss, was that era. Crazy Nights.
Hold on one second. Let me shut
this. Jericho's been on our show a couple of times. Mm-hmm. He's a big fan of that Crazy Nights. I know that he's not a big fan of the beginning of Crazy Nights. This is a song for everybody out there.
Yeah, the intro.
He always felt it was like a little ditty about Jack and Diane.
Never thought of it that way. Thank you. You ruined it for me.
The first Kiss show I think he ever went on, though. I don't know if you guys ever heard of a History Science Theater. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
show?
I used to.
They were great. Yeah,
to me, that's the best all-time best Kiss podcast. And even when my show was like doing 30,000 downloads and plays a week, they were still going strong, and they would like, when they finally stopped, I think they just got busy, but they would send us nice letters of encouragement. And one of my dreams was to have them on our show. And when we finally did, it was awesome because those guys really know their stuff. And I'll tell you what, if anybbe out there that's watching this, you're a Kiss fan and a wrestling fan, so are these guys. And
awesome.
Go, and they do a show. I think it's called the Bash Brothers. They do one of those. They do a few different shows, and if you get a chance, go on there. They do wrestling shows where they just talk about their favorite '80s wrestlers and '90s wrestlers, and History Science Theater. I highly recommend it. It's really great.
Definitely.
It's funny. I mean, we kind of owe our partnership to Jericho because I listened to like Three Sides, like kind of when it did. And I listened to Kids Science Theater, but I had never really heard of Shout It Out Loudcast until I listened to Jericho had them on. I listen to Talk Is Jericho. That's probably my all-time favorite podcast. I listen to it, because he talks about besides ours, I'm an ex-paranormal investigator and stuff. We used to have our, back. That's the thing. And he talks about the paranormal. He talks about wrestling, talks about Kiss, and he had him on there. And I remember that's how me and Stevie met. We were talking about something on Messenger. We started talking about Rod Stewart, which is we both like, and we did like one episode and that there. So that all goes back to Jericho. That kind of
cool.
with, Tom and Zeus and stuff like that. So if you ever talk to Jericho, thank him for that. And he was my number 3 favorite wrestler when we did our top 10 list, behind Stone Cold and HBK.
Cool.
Oh, and one thing about Jericho, talking about the Crazy Nights era and the when Revenge came out and the reunion tour came back, Jericho wrote for this magazine called Metal Edge for a little bit. He was a guest, and he was talking about how when Kiss got back together, he was so disappointed because he wanted more Revenge, that kind of era. And I was like, finally, you know what I mean? Somebody agrees with me. So I'll just leave it at that. Okay. My number, what is my 10, 9, 8, 7? Are we on 7?
Yep. Oh, Joe had done his number 7.
Oh,
I
I'm
haven't
sorry.
done 7 yet. That's okay. My number 7 is for somebody that's like Dude Love. Ready? Shout it out loud.
Ah. That
You
would
could be
work.
like, but you know, he could come out like the party animal, which you know, and shout it out loud, and the crowd could be going, shout it, shout
Yeah, that's a good
it,
idea.
shout it out loud. That would be awesome. I thought,
would-
you know, so that's my number 7.
Do
I
you
could also see him coming out to "Is That You"
Oh.
when he was trying to be the Shawn Michaels ripoff.
Yeah. Do you listen to Foley's podcast, Joe?
To what?
To Mick Foley's podcast.
Actually, I don't.
That is, if you want to hear, I mean, you know, I read all his books, and listening to him talk on the podcast, it's great. He tells some great stories on it. Foley's is one I would recommend.
That, and I would recommend Kevin Nash.
I've listened to some of Nash.
But the only thing bad about Kevin Nash and Foley, God, they're like 3 hours long. It's like I cannot. You know,
I can't do that.
Foley
that's why Jericho's is great, because Jericho's is an hour. That's it. You know, nail it over sometimes.
One that was like an hour and a half on Stone Cold, and it went back to like when they first met up in USWA. I mean, that was pretty cool to hear some of those stories. It was like an hour and a half. Now he started off doing long ones. I mean, like 3 hour long. You're right, but I think he's kind of toned it down a little bit.
Foley seems like a good dude, man. He just seems like a real solid earth dude. To watching,
I met him.
Have you met him, Joe?
Yeah, I met him at WrestleMania, and when I walked up to him, I basically slipped up and let him know how hot his daughter was.
Oh, you might have got the mandible clawed in, Mr. Sucko.
Noelle, woo, that is a beautiful woman.
She is.
What happened was, we were on our way to New Orleans. I don't know if you guys ever followed Noelle on Twitter. She used to always be in the front row, and her comments were funny. And so me and my friends made a sign that said, "We love Noelle Foley," and we tweeted it to her, and then she retweeted it. That's cool. Then I walked up to Mick, and I was like, "We were talking to your daughter."
Well, that's always nice to hear. Speaking as a father of a daughter, that's always nice to hear somebody come up to you, especially a man you've never seen before.
Yeah,
we were talking to your daughter.
That is
wow.
That is a very beautiful young lady.
What kind of look did he give you when you said that? Though?
Like I was standing, he kind of did it like that. He still signed my magazine, so
yeah,
right here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, good old Mick.
I remember watching Beyond the Mat, which I felt so bad for him, but man, his wife was pretty too. So that's
she was a model.
Yeah.
Man, that's the whole thing. That's how you know Mick Foley is the real deal. Because guys that look like me, I got a beautiful girlfriend. He had a beautiful wife, and I don't know how that happened.
I don't have either, so I don't know how that happened either. So.
I always felt bad for the kids because they were just crying in the front row.
Oh yeah. That was painful to watch.
Used to do chair shots in the head. You don't do that no more.
No, they don't like that. I mean, chair shots to the head is one thing, but that was multiple. All right, number 7 for you, Warden.
Number 7 for me. Only word I can think of is Disco Inferno.
Oh gosh, what is this? I Was Made for Loving You.
No, close. Probably my second favorite Peter Criss song, Dirty Living. I can just see him coming down to Dirty Living.
What's your favorite?
I can see.
You
my
already
favorite.
said Baby Driver.
No, my favorite Peter Criss song, Getaway.
Oh, okay.
That's probably my favorite. It's all in one. That's my favorite Peter Criss song, and it's my favorite Ace solo. I just think that song is so underrated. But Dirty Living, I can see Disco Inferno coming out. Hell, I can see Dude Love coming out. It's a fun song.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
I don't want to see Disco Inferno come out too much.
I like this. I like there's a dance mix version of this song I got on a bootleg one time. I mean, it's just great, man. You can just that song just screams cocaine, dude. I mean, it's just,
and Joe, being I'm sure you probably collect a lot more than we do. I don't know if you do like bootlegs and stuff. Did you see the bootleg Tom put up on Shout Out Loud?
The Elder.
The Elder one. I have never heard of some of these songs that was up there today.
Yeah.
I did not see it, but I've seen tons of that stuff.
I've seen it. I mean, I've seen Elder demos before, but I have never heard.
Wasn't there
songs.
some Creatures of the Night songs?
Yeah,
as
here
demos
it is.
on that. Yeah,
Here it is. One of them. This was from Creatures. It's So Pretty. Gene sings. Gypsy in Here. It says Here Eyes, and that was from the Elder. Back on the Streets. It says written for Ace Frehley's comment, but vocals Gene Simmons.
Didn't Vinny put that on?
Yeah, Vinny did Back on the Streets, but then you got a Heaven off music from the Elder, The Unknown Force, which was an instrumental off the Elder, Young and Reckless, that was for Ace.
that's what I was thinking. Young and Wasted. That's what I was thinking of.
They had a World Without Heroes demo version, and then Don't Run a demo version, which, I mean, I've heard that. But, yeah, some of these songs I've never heard of before.
They're probably just as bad as the rest of the album.
Your Baby. There was one called Your Baby. I don't know.
I haven't been on Facebook a lot today, so I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, look on the Shout Out Loudcasters. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what. So before I go away from it, I'll send it to you in a messenger.
Cool.
But what we got? Number is it me now?
You.
Okay. My number 7 is a Peter song, and I'm trying to get this. I'll get it in a minute. I got it up here where I can get it.
Trying to get your Peter situated.
Ha 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 ha! Very funny. Not like you a while ago with the Catholic girl thing.
You brought that up. I didn't say anything about no Catholics, so that's on you, bro.
Mine is a Peter song. It's probably one of my favorite Peter songs, and it would be this. It'd have to be a dark wrestler in Strange Ways. You know, you hear that opening come out to dun 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 dun. That would be I'm trying to think of who would be good or a dark wrestler that would come out to that, but I don't know. It seems like that would fit.
Bastion Booger, dude.
Jeez, no, Bastion Booger.
Or who's that one guy that Damien Demento that had the stuff on the side? That'd be a good one for him. Remember Damien Demento?
I don't remember that wrestler.
You don't remember Damien Demento? He had, or who's that one guy that had the big old buffalo head on him? You know.
Oh, Damien Demento was one of them, but gosh, what did they call him? Mondo Clean. I think that was another one. But yeah. Duke the Dumpster Drosy.
Waylon Mercy, dude.
That was Danny Spivey.
Let
me tell you, Waylon Mercy would have been a good thing if he'd have stuck with it. If they'd have pushed it a little bit more, that would have been that's kind of like the guy from Cape Fear, the guy
that was in the Fabulous Ones. Was that the guy? Oh, that's that guy with the alligator. What's his name?
Skinner.
Skinner.
Funny.
Went from being
Fabulous Ones
to Fabulous one to tobacco chewing Skinner. You remember he spit tobacco juice in the Owens face?
That was a Crocodile Dundee ripoff, right? Because it was.
I think so.
My daughter is Snapchatting people video of me doing this. She's crazy. But yeah, Steve Kerr goes to Skinner. Yeah, that was kind of a big leap.
Waylon Mercy was like the Cape Fear guy you're talking about, right?
Yeah, Waylon Mercy. Hey, you know who that was? You know
Robert
who
De Niro?
No, you know who Waylon Mercy was before Waylon Mercy?
Dan Spivey.
Yeah, from the Skyscrapers.
Yeah.
And Starship Eagle even earlier when he was in NWA.
He didn't team with Barry Windham. Who did he team with besides
Rotunda?
Rotunda, that's what it was.
When Windham left.
That's right.
They wanted somebody that looked like Windham, and Spivey had the long hair then, and they put him with Rotunda.
Hell, man, this is becoming the Barry Windham hour.
Yeah,
it is.
It could be. I mean, Barry Windham had a lot to talk about, dude.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we're on Joe's number 6.
So I have a Peter Criss song too. So I thought this would be good for somebody like Razor Ramon or something like that. But Hooligan.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So it's pretty self-descriptive, but somebody that comes out that's just like against everybody, even a Stone Cold could come out to Hooligan.
I could see that.
Look, I went to this was 91 to the Richmond Coliseum, NWA. This was when Flair, as a matter of fact, Flair just got fired that weekend. This was a Sunday. He got fired that weekend and took the belt to WWF. But looking at the card, it was stunning. Steve Austin was there, long blonde hair, and he had beat Bobby Eaton for the belt. Then you had a guy named Brian Armstrong was wrestling the first match, which he became Road Dogg.
Road Dogg, right?
Yeah, and then the Diamond Stud was wrestling there, and I didn't have a clue who he was till later on that was Scott Hall. I mean, he was so different.
Wow.
The last time I'd seen Scott Hall, he had the handlebar mustache.
With Kurt Hennig in the AWA.
No, he wrestled in the NWA for a little while with Scott Hall. They called him Gator, Scott Gator Hall.
I don't.
Yeah, it was.
I tuned out WCW. I just remember finding out Razor Ramon was Scott Hall, the one with Kurt Hennig. I'm like, oh my God. I mean,
well, see, Diamond Stud was pretty much Razor Ramon.
No,
except Diamond Stud didn't get to talk. Diamond Dallas Page was his manager, so he didn't get to talk a lot in WCW. But that was pretty much Razor Ramon. He had the toothpick, he had everything, but he didn't talk.
God, man, what a character, Razor Ramon. Another one.
Yeah.
All
right. So number 6 for you, Warden.
And Joe do his?
Yeah.
Hooligan. Sorry, it's late. This is another song that I kind of think that maybe it worked for the Demon as well. I think this is one of the first kind of real, early metal songs I think that Kiss did, and Parasite. That's a for 1974, 73, 70. That's a heavy ass song.
Yeah.
Especially the live version, but I can see the Demon with something like that, or some kind of like.
I can see a high energy guy coming out to that with the way it starts off. Yeah,
you kind of think about like maybe I would say, I don't know. I mean, they had so many characters, but I don't know that like a high energy guy, maybe not as high energy as the Ultimate Warrior or nothing, but something definitely a bad guy. This song.
Yeah.
Well. I did not have Parasite up there.
But I didn't have. I had Hooligan on my honorable mentions.
Yeah. Well, I could. Let me look at my. Let me go through my
age 30 of 70.
No, I don't.
It's inside joke, Joe. Steve has all these honorable mentions. He just. Of course it is. Of course it is.
It used to be.
Of course, that's on your list.
It used to be when I did one of these lists. Number 10 was always a tie, but I kind of went away from that now.
He's graduated to honorable mentions now.
Yeah. So my number 6, another high energy song. I could see somebody like Jericho coming out to this back in the day. Exciter. I'll flick it up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Exciter would be a good one for a high energy guy to come. I'm surprised nobody back then used it that I know of, but yeah. Somebody, and like I said, every one of these high energy songs, I thought of 80s Jericho or 90s Jericho. And I'm saying 80s Jericho, he didn't even start until, I don't think he started till the 90s anyway, but whatever. All right, moving right along. Number 5 for you, Joe.
Number 5 for me is All American Man.
Wow. Repeat.
We don't have to say anything else about that because it was a repeat. But yeah, All American Man's that's a good. You could have what was Hogan's name when he was wearing the mask?
Mr. America.
Blue Blazer.
Mr. America.
No, that was Mr. America. Owen was Blue Blazer.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That was the worst kept secret. It was like let's see, like you said, with Barry Windham was Yellow Dog.
What was the one Ric Flair wrestled as?
The Black Scorpion.
That's right.
And that wasn't even supposed to be him. Till
And
the
Dusty
last
Rhodes, right? Didn't Dusty Rhodes wear a mask for a while
Midnight
too?
Rider.
Yeah, that's what
Midnight
it was.
Rider, yeah.
Of course,
But
it was
see-
a Skinner song. Yeah, of course.
Yellow Dog. That was the Allman Brothers, wasn't it?
What?
Midnight Rider.
Is it Allman Brothers?
I think that was
you're
Allman
probably
Brothers.
right. It's some Southern band. You're probably right.
Yellow Dog made another appearance later on too. Flying Brian
Right.
Pillman. He ended up doing because he was at that show in Richmond as a Yellow Dog that night. But I'll tell you a funny story about that, and then we'll move on. Me and my buddy were going in the parking section, getting there that night, and there was this. You remember the old Nissan Sentras? They weren't real big cars. So we were sitting there, and this Sentra is in front of us and keeps stopping and just sitting there, and would go up a little bit, stop again, go again. And I was like, what the heck? We were yelling at the car at this guy. I mean, we were yelling out the window, what the hell are you doing? So he finally gets to the main parking area where you pay to park.
Right.
And he looks back, he's looking back at us, and then he takes off and he circles back around, and we're just looking at him like, what the, you know. The guy that's taking up the money looked at us, and he was like, he just had this shocked look on his face. And he was like, y'all know who that was? And I said, I don't have a clue. I don't know if you remember the Elegante 707 riding in a freaking Sentra. How he was riding in a Sentra, I
Was
don't
he
know.
wearing
From the back seat.
Was he wearing his muscle outfit?
He wasn't this. That wasn't.
Yeah.
This was WCW. He wasn't.
No.
Giant
So
Gonzalez.
they took out
then.
the front seat.
Evidently,
He sat in the back seat and just.
evidently, he had to take that whole row of seats out to be in that Sentra. But yeah,
Seems like there's got to be an easier way to travel.
Oh yeah, I agree.
all right. So number 5 for you, Ward.
Number 5 for me, high energy song. I can see a band. I can see a tag team. When I wrote this song down, it's like not the Road Warriors, not the because the Road Warriors always kind of walk slow. Not any of the people that ripped off the Road Warriors like Demolition or whatever. But I see high energy coming out. I see the Blade Runners coming out to this song. Danger, All Creatures of the Night by Paul.
Yeah.
It's a fast pitch song, and they always kind of ran to the ring. I think that would fit them because when you think that's a team that didn't really, they say, hey, let's break them up, and but Blade Runners, if you know who I'm talking about, the Blade Runners.
Ego finished the Blade Runners off, and I'm not talking about Sting either. I'm talking about the other one.
Well, Sting he'll admit that he was pretty much like that back in the day. So
yeah, but the other one was
he was beyond, yeah.
Yes,
but that Danger's kind of a little bit fast, kind of like his song was in the WWF. I was never a fan of that guy. I didn't never like that guy. I was always a heel guy. I like the heels.
Well, he started off a heel over there in Texas, though.
He was a Dingo Warrior. Yeah.
Dingo
Warrior. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Why in the world? Gary Hart. Yeah, why in the world Vince didn't want to call him the Dingo Warrior?
The only time I cheered for the Ultimate Warrior was when his fight with Slaughter. That was my first card. I just couldn't cheer for Slaughter. I mean, I couldn't chill for an Iranian sympathizer. I mean, it's like but God, this is before I found out it was fake. I guess But, yeah, I misremember Slaughter. Just like, really? I mean,
you weren't one of them calling death threats into him, were you?
No.
Yeah.
I liked Slaughter pre that. I've never liked him after that because it's like, how do you come back from that? How can you forgive that? I mean, I know it's a storyline, but what a hell of a way that was a big storyline.
Yeah. They got him away from it. I mean, they used Doug, but they got him away from it. Okay. So number 5 for me, and this would be like, just like you said with Danger, I think it would be kind of a high energy guy, but it's kind of a weird one. Charisma.
Okay.
Start off with that riff and get him in the ring, get him coming down.
I think that could have been Das Wonder Kid, the dance song. Remember
that's right. No, He would. Jeez, you remember when he turned into that trench coat wearing dude? I forgot what they called him. I don't think they called him Alex right then. But he went totally against what he was at first. He wore trench coat, goatee, and he had that guy with him, the Wall, like the Berlin Wall.
Was this pre
NWO? This was when Russo took over for WCW.
And they probably did away with the trench coats of Columbine, right?
Probably so. Yeah, that's when because it was before Columbine. Yeah,
because WCW got so bad in the late '90s, I couldn't even watch it.
Russo. Let me tell you.
And that guy talks so much shit about so many people, and he's one of the worst. Sorry.
He's Cornette's a big fan of his. Jim Cornette.
I'm Team Cornette. I like Cornette.
Cornette has got.
I agree with a lot of Cornette. What he talks about.
He's got one of the best wrestling minds you'll ever see. Oh, yeah. And if he ever took over, if somebody would just,
they should make him AEW.
I'm saying if somebody could just deal with his outside issues and stuff, because I don't know if you saw Pinocchio sent me a text or instant message. He got 2 of the Jim Cornette figures autographed. It says to Jack, hi Jack, F you, bye, Jim Cornette. That's the whole thing on both of them. And Pinocchio's got a thing that says I'm a Jim Cornette. He's got a T-shirt. I'm a Cornette guy. So
like the Paul Heyman one.
Yeah.
I think Cornette's kind of like, it'd be great to be back, but he's probably like Sebastian Bach. Don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, there's a lot of he's burned a lot of bridges. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but he could turn around a company.
I still don't think that Cornette's as bad as Russo, because Russo seems to talk shit about people that nobody asks him why. At least with Cornette, he has a good podcast. But it's just like every once in a while. Like he said something this week about somebody, Russo. I'm like, who in
Russo,
the hell
I don't
are you?
even listen to Russo's podcast. Russo.
Yeah, but it always gets picked up. So it's just shut up.
Yeah. Russo.
I used to work at a music store, and his kids used to take lessons there.
Oh, really?
Russo, yeah, he actually owned like a not a record store, but it was kind of like a pop culture store. And before I think he moved to Florida.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did you have any face-to-face dealings with him?
Oh yeah, he was very nice.
Okay.
It's probably just like
super nice. Maybe.
I don't think Sebastian's playing a character. I think that's who he is.
Probably so.
No, I agree with that 100%. Yeah,
he just went after Jericho again. Just out of the
blue.
He started talking about the band is like missing out with him, and anybody can be a rock star now, even has-been wrestlers. He's an ass.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but see, sometimes you gotta wonder how much of this is like
a work.
I don't know. It's like
I don't look. Is Sebastian going to end up in AEW somehow?
Oh, I don't think so.
I don't know, man.
I mean, I'm talking about he's going to come out as a manager in AEW and lead a faction against Jericho.
I didn't like it. I don't think it's a work or nothing or a play or whatever. I think he just thinks he's better than Jericho. He accused him of lip syncing, which they were supposed to be good friends. I mean, he's just an ass. And I guess because I like Jericho, maybe it's
Oh, I like Jericho. I used to like Sebastian,
but knowing how much money Skid Row's turned down, I mean, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to be happy. You just.
Hey, what's the name of the organization you do the camera work for?
It's a small one. It's called Rage Wrestling.
Is it? Where is it done?
We do it in Eastern North Carolina. We've got like 2 or 3 places that it's a let's see, Run It Rapids, North Carolina. We've done a Hosky. It's a small. I don't know if you've heard of it. You keep up with any of the independents much?
Sometimes it depends.
We've had some guys like C.W. Anderson's been on there. He was big in ECW. Shoot, what's the guy's name? There's a guy. his partner is Preston Quinn. It's called the Pain Train. He's pretty good. We've had the Pain
That's
Train.
a cool name. I like that. Pain Train.
We got some a tag team called the Geordie Bulldogs. There was a tag team that was there one time called the Heat Seekers. They're pretty big up and down the East Coast. They've wrestled the Rock and Roll Express lots of time. I think I had one of them on a while back, and they said they had wrestled the Rock and Roll Express more than anybody in the last, And Ricky Morton keeps going, I don't know. At that age, he keeps doing the way he's doing.
He was still smoking up to a couple years ago.
He did the freaking Canadian Destroyer a while. He started doing that move.
Really?
Yes. I'll have to send you video of that. The guy's freaking amazing. Everybody talks about Flair wrestling as much as he had, before the retirement match. But Morton's wrestling longer and outdoing Flair, in my opinion. But we've had, gosh, what's the other guy's name? That's sort of big. You remember Barbarian?
Yeah.
We got his nephew is in there.
He's still
Asafi, that's his name. No, Barbarian had the first show we did. Ivan Koloff was there. It was actually his last birthday before he passed away.
You hear about the one with Paul Jones?
Yeah, the one that was with the Warlord.
Yeah, he was Paul Jones before you.
Yeah, that's where he started off. That's Paul Jones, the worst promo. Wow, worst promo ever. All right,
what am I on? 4?
Okay, let me ask you a question, Stevie, before your wrestling knowledge. Who came first, the Barbarian or the Road Warriors?
Road Warriors.
Yeah, because it was a bad.
They were in, but they started off in Georgia, and actually, I think Hawk was the first one, and they were
the national tag team champions.
Yeah, they just gave them the belts one time. Because Ole was the booker then, I think. But they came out looking like, no, they didn't have makeup on. They had the hats, like the leather hats and stuff like that. And then they went to the makeup after that. But yeah.
I almost think that they didn't have any competition in the 80s. Not till they started like fighting the Freebirds and stuff, because the Freebirds made it interesting. But there were a lot of non-competition.
They had some guys and fabulous ones. Gave them, you go back and look up on YouTube.
And I guess Kurt Hennig and Scott Hall too, I guess.
Well, you look up on YouTube the fabulous ones of Road Warriors. There's a lot of interesting stories the fabulous ones tell about the Road Warriors not wanting to sell for the fabulous ones, and what happened one night they were no selling, and it got kind of ugly.
Damn, that's not cool.
No.
Let's see.
Did he bring out his gator?
No. Number 4 for Joe.
Another girl wrestler song.
Uh-oh.
She's got to be hot, man. She's got to be.
Oh, God. I'm trying to think of what it could be before you say it.
I know what it is.
Be hot.
What is it?
Strutter.
Killer.
Oh, Killer.
Killer.
I got the ER right.
Yes, you did.
Bitch is insane. She deals in pain.
Yep.
That's a good one.
That was a good one.
That would be good for Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I saw a thing on her. She's dating some guy that's in AEW. But, man, they showed her a couple years ago. No tats, nothing. She was pretty. She's okay, but, man, I think she's prettier without all the tats. But, hey, what are you into?
Yeah. I always wonder if she was a swimmer.
She does. She's got that body,
arms, like a body for a swimmer.
Let me ask you this, Joe. What's your thoughts on Dominic?
That bad, huh?
Here's the thing. I'm torn on him because I think that they moved Ray out too soon. They needed to have him punish his father a bit to really, because when he comes out, the fans do not like him.
No.
And he had to build his way up to that. Rhea's really helping him.
Yeah.
Rhea really helps him. But I would say I could take him or leave him. But my thing is when he does the whole Eddie thing, and I'm like, to me, that's all cool and everything, but the truth is that if there's not a ton of wrestling fans at that show that get that when he does it.
know the Eddie reference.
Yeah. Even the Three Amigos, when somebody does that, it's like they make sure that they say who
say it every time it does. Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah,
That's
Eddie
right.
Guerrero, Eddie Guerrero. And the reason is the young people, there's a lot of young wrestling fans, they don't know who Eddie Guerrero is. He's been dead longer than they've been alive.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, and I don't know.
I thought that skit where they went to the house and they beat up Eddie or
on Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving,
he put up his Christmas tree too, so that was pretty funny.
I think, and to get back to what Joe said about them taking out Ray too soon from moving from Raw to SmackDown, getting them away from it. But I think maybe WWE realized that, and that's why they did the whole vignette where they had him attacking Ray at Thanksgiving. Yeah, I think that was a good point. I think was that done? Did they take Ray out while Vince was still there? And maybe Triple H just realized, all right, we need to go back to this. But anyway,
I don't remember.
There probably a lot of stuff was written ahead of time, but they just went with, and they got to go back and do it.
Yeah, they got to go back and straighten out. All right, Killer number 4. Number 4 for you, Ward.
Okay, I can only think of one person, Undertaker. Unholy.
Oh, that's good.
Without the freaking guitar part, just that goes right into the intro, like it's on the box set, which is my current ringtone going into the solo. Unholy or an Undertaker knockoff. Just I could only think Undertaker because there's
speaking of that, Unholy I think was used by, I guess you could call Undertaker knockoff, Smoky Mountain Wrestling, Unabomber. Unabomb. Guess who Unabomb was?
Adam Bomb?
No, Kane.
Oh, really?
Okay. Really?
Yep. I want to say that Kane came out to it as Unabomb came out to Unholy.
They didn't ban that after the Unabomber got caught, and that's about the 90s, wasn't it?
I don't know. I mean, they just called him Unabomb. They didn't call him Unabomber. I may have said Unabomber, but they called him Unabomb. But I don't know if that was that time period.
I only remember Kane from being Dr. Isaac Yankem and the fake Diesel. I don't remember that.
Yeah, this was Smoky Mountain, because if you go back and look at the you go back and look at the A&E where they do look for the memorabilia. They go to Undertaker goes to Kane and he gives them the original Unabomb outfit, the mask and everything like that. But he teamed up with, believe it or not, of all people, Al Snow. Him and Al Snow beat.
What does everybody want?
Head.
Yeah, they beat the Rock and Roll Express for the Smoky Mountain tag team titles, which I think
Smoky Mountain, that was Jim Cornette's area, right?
Yep, Jim Cornette.
Is that where Tammy Sonny came from? Was that?
Yep, Tammy came from there. Jericho and Lance Storm were a tag team there for a while. They feuded with Cornette for a while with the Heavenly Bodies.
The Heavenly Body, the Pritchard, right? Or was it Pritchard? Or
it was Tom, Dr. Tom.
Yeah,
not Bruce, not
Brother Love.
I love you. Speaking of that, number 4 for me, and this is an obvious one here. I Love It Loud would be a good one for somebody like, I guess, the Road Warriors or Road Warrior knockoff could come out to that. Somebody just
Demolition.
Look, it's just like you remember, and you may not remember more than when they were tag team champions, Ravishing Rick Rude and Manny Fernandez.
Yeah, I do.
They came
with
out
Paul Jones.
Yeah, they came out to We Will Rock You. This would be something like they could come out to I Love It Loud.
That's a good choice.
Yeah. But I Love It Loud. That's kind of a obvious one out of this Kiss one to me. All right. Number 3.
Now we're gonna go to Strutter. And a girl comes out to that.
See, Warden is getting all these.
I can see a Missy Hyatt, 80s Missy
Sure,
Hyatt
yeah.
coming out to that.
Any of those.
Man, I had the Peacock and I was watching the old WW or W World Class, and I mean, Sunshine was just not. Precious was cute, but god dang, Missy Hyatt was hot as hell. Baby Doll, and it never got to me. But Missy Hyatt, how to be the hottest babe in the 80s, man.
You remember?
There was a girl called Misty. I think she was in
Misty Blue.
Yeah, I think she was pretty hot. There, I
Yeah,
mean,
she was a ref.
Sherry Martell was hot at one time too. So
Yeah, Scary Sherry.
yeah.
But there was a time, Missy was started out in like Mid-South and UWF, and then she left and went to WWF.
Remember that?
And was going to have like her own little, how they have Piper's Pit and all this stuff. And she got up there, and I think Vince just saw, what usually we're talking about. She's hot. She's good. And then when she got up there, she had
to deal with her.
She had that Southern drawl and all this stuff. And he was like, no, he sent her packing quick. And I don't know. There's been a lot of talking over the years about some other stuff there, but I don't know. But that's kind of quieted down. But yeah, Missy was. Have you seen her lately?
Age is not everybody's friend, Stevie. It's
a lot of work is not everybody's friend either. I mean, she's had some work done, and she does a lot of Civil War reenactments.
Really?
Yeah. And look, matter of fact, I follow her on Facebook. And
Civil War.
Yes, she does. And
in the darkest periods of our time, let's relive it. Okay.
She just quit her job at Walmart. So
good grief.
She was her and Sonny were doing those like wrestling vixens or whatever. Remember that? They were like nude or something like that. And it's like y'all should have done that when y'all were hot,
Sonny just she's getting ready to go on trial.
She should go to prison. Didn't she get 6 DWIs in a month or something like that?
The last time she had a wreck and killed somebody.
Yeah.
So she's in pretty bad trouble right now, I think. All right.
Missy Hyatt worked at Walmart, huh? Wow.
That's what she said. She didn't like it. She didn't like it there for too long.
Well, I worked there. I didn't like it either, but God, I wasn't on World Class Championship. I mean, but they weren't paid like they're paid nowadays.
No.
Especially the women.
Oh no, it's nothing like it was then. Number 3 for you,
I'm
Ward.
looking at the pictures of Missy Hyatt now. It is rough.
Yes, I told you.
Not as rough as Baby Doll, though.
No, it's the Warden. You need to look for yourself. Look up Melissa.
I watched Baby Doll. But Baby Doll looked kind of rough back in the day, though, man. I mean,
Baby Doll was, what did they call her in World Class?
Not what you call a handsome
Nicola the Giant.
Oh, Nicola the Lady Giant.
Yeah,
she actually was with Gino back then. She wasn't too bad, but in the NWA, she put a lot of makeup on. But I'm on a makeup, I don't know.
Yeah. What's number 3 for you, Ward?
I can only think of somebody that's really weird. I mean, I'm not a big fan of this guy, but
really weird.
Boogeyman, Almost Human, eating worms and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I can't think of another wrestler that's really. I thought he did that for real, but that's just makeup. I thought he really did that to himself, but it's just makeup.
He pulled out his teeth.
I'm gullible. He did?
Oh yeah, they asked him to, and he did it.
Wow, and he's still working for him. How'd that work out? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he's not there. He shows up every once in a while.
He's getting his protein from the worms, though. I guess. Hey, got that protein.
I'm gonna throw up if we're not careful.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I'm trying to look and see something real quick. I'm
still looking up Missy Hyatt, man.
No. I'm gonna tell you what.
Go back 20 years. WrestlingVixens.com. Just kidding.
Oh Lord.
I'm looking for something else, but I'll tell you guys about it when we get.
Who was the one married to Sam Houston? Was that Baby Doll?
That was Baby Doll.
And she got a restraining order on him and everything, right? Yeah,
that was kind of the forbidden thing too.
He was on the that wrestling the dark side,
it's,
wasn't he?
it's Jake Roberts' brother. Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff on Jake and Grizzly, man, that's some messed up stuff.
Yeah. All right, so number 3 for me, another high energy one. I don't know who you could. I could see somebody like a babyface Seth Rollins or something like that do it. Mr. Speed.
Yep.
I could see somebody coming to the ring to that. That would be a good one. And that's probably one of the most underrated Kiss songs. Or it's probably getting everybody likes it so much now. It's probably not underrated anymore.
Right.
Everybody talks about it so much.
I got a love-hate relationship with that song.
Wow.
Because it's like I don't think Paul has any energy on that song. Like when he goes, ow, like he just hit his toe or something. It's not high energy to me. It's just kind of half-assed. I mean, we don't have a live version.
I love
which
his
could have
solo.
been better.
Ace's solo is killer
I mean,
on that.
it's just I just don't. It isn't like he's very enthusiastic about it. That's just always been my. I like the song, but it's kind of this like low energy Paul for me.
Maybe he didn't like the song. He was just doing it.
I mean, it's no, I stole your love, or
Oh no,
nothing can keep me away from you. So hey,
Oh jeez, don't go there.
All right, Joe's next list. Nothing can keep me away from you.
Boogeyman is going to be on the Jericho cruise.
Oh, sweet!
Wow.
So
tell him to use Almost Human. Pay Gene some royalties.
Yeah. The special guests right now that are not AEW, there's a ton of AEW wrestlers on there. Matt Cardona, Nick Cage, Flip Gordon, Nick Aldis, Moose, Sabu, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Brutus Beefcake.
Wait. Brutus Beefcake's going to be somewhere without Hulk Hogan? Can he walk without Hulk Hogan?
Mike Rotunda.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Dan Lambert, Hornswoggle, Brian Myers, Rocky Romero, Boogeyman, ODB, some Cheeseburger, and they still keep getting more people. But there's a ton of AEW wrestlers, so that'll be kind of fun. My number 2.
Hey, speaking before you go to number 2, if you like paranormal stuff, he's going to have a guy on there called Dave Schrader. He has a podcast on. Well, I don't know if Jericho has his network anymore, but he's pretty good. Get a chance to check him out. He's got some pretty good. He's on some of these shows, but he's a really good paranormal. If you're into that stuff,
I've hung out with the Ghost Hunters.
Oh, Jason. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, who I met that week was or hung out with Jason, and then who was the cop, former cop, and it was the other two guys that were always together. I can't think of their name. Damn it.
Yeah,
you talk about the paranormal. Like you talk about the guys that go around. Zach, the one that goes chasing the ghosts.
No. On Ghost Hunters. Yeah, there were the two guys, the younger guys that were always together. I can't think of their names. I'm sorry. Now that I ruined that.
I know you're talking about. But yeah, check out Dave Sherman if you're on the cruise. He's on there. He's buddies with Jericho.
You haven't ruined it, Joe. You obviously haven't listened to us too much because we're constantly like, I can't think of his name.
So Dr. Love, that's my number 2.
Who's that coming out to that?
I don't know. Oh man, that could still be an alter ego of Dude Love. It could be a different person, Dr.
That
Love.
could be
Val Venus, dude. Val Venus.
There you go. That's a good one.
Hello, ladies. The Dr. Love.
Sean Moore.
The next time, that's a good one to come out, but we could pick a better wrestler next time.
Or have Dr. Pepperman come out. Remember that commercial he did with Dr. Love?
Oh gosh, what's his name?
Dr. Pepperman.
No, I'm thinking about the little midget, not
Hey, little person. Come on, Stevie.
Little person. Not Hornswoggle, but the guy that was on the Dr. Pepper commercials.
Oh, the one that died? The one with the little kiss.
You're talking about Austin Powers or what?
No, it's the one that used to do the sweet. It used to say all this stuff. He was the guy that was on American. American Idol. Justin Guarini played him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stevie, you watch American Idol?
Heck yeah, my buddy.
Wow.
Hey, hometown guy, Chris Daughtry.
Yeah, but
came from
he hadn't been on
came
that
from
show in
my
a long
hometown.
time, brother.
I haven't watched
don't
American
use
Idol in
him
a
as
long
a
time.
reason now.
I haven't watched American Idol since that.
I'm kidding.
The last time I watched American Idol faithfully was when they
Yesterday.
no when they had that that gal that it was so bad that they almost voted to the finals again.
She bangs. That guy.
No, William Hung never made it on the actual show.
Wow, I
This
didn't know
guy
his
was-
name, Stevie. Well, you
This
are a
guy
watcher.
was like an Indian. He was from India or something like that. It was, and he was
an
horrible.
Indian from India.
He was
I don't know where-
horrible, and they voted him. They voted him all the way to like the final 8 because they had a website that they were telling people who to vote for, and that's like Taylor Hicks. Taylor Hicks got the championship because of that. Where's Taylor Hicks now?
I have no idea who Taylor
Didn't he
Hicks
play
is.
the harmonica? Wasn't he a harmonica player or something?
I don't even know. But Chris is from he grew up right down the street from me. He's a few years younger than me, but he wrote that. I don't know if you follow Daughtry much.
A few. He's like 12 years younger than you.
No, he's not. No, he wrote
Yeah,
it.
you're hitting him in the
we-
balls.
He
Man,
wrote a song.
we're keeping Joe in excitement here. He's like yawned like 3 times since you've been talking.
No, I had a long night last
I
night.
know.
It's
Yeah.
not
Hey, now, don't brag.
Oh, I know. I've listened to Joe.
Credit to the single guy here. You know, come on, man.
I've listened to Joe's show.
You're
before. I
not
know he doesn't
single.
get
You
up.
just showed me your girlfriend. You were like that.
No, that's the girlfriend mistress. Okay, you got to get them.
Uh,
you can't get them fake now.
I don't
Oh,
feel.
you're
I don't feel.
left-handed.
And
I don't
they're
feel-
a lot cheaper than most of them out there. So hey,
Ain't
I
that
don't
the
feel
truth?
sorry for Joe because I know he doesn't get up at 8:00 like the rest of us. I've heard him and Casada talk about that before. Because Sonny Pooty
We're
talks about I get
professional.
up at like 6:00 and they're like,
are you
nope.
retired, Joe, or what?
I'm a professional musician.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
the sun is this. Yeah, I
Your
don't
enemy. You're like a vampire.
know. Yeah.
This is totally off subject. I was just looking at my the weather down here at the bottom of my computer thing. It says heavy sleet. I was like, I didn't even know it's supposed to freaking do anything like that today.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be 60 degrees today.
I'm going to tell you what part of you're in San Antonio, Warden.
Yep.
I don't know. I know that where Stevie is and where I am. By next weekend, we're supposed to be getting some brutal cold weather.
Yeah.
So
gonna
if
be
it's
cold.
20 here, it's 15 there.
It's going to
Yeah.
be in the It's going to be in the 20s here. They already
Yeah.
said it. So
Y'all shut down if it's 20 degrees in Texas, right?
I got I hope our power grid keeps going. I got a joke for you, Joe.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
What do you call a drummer without a girlfriend?
A drummer without a girlfriend.
Oh, Stevie, whatever.
I don't know. What is it?
Homeless.
But that's really good.
Oh, God.
I got one for you. What does a stripper do with her asshole before she goes to work?
You got me, man. I don't know.
Drops them off at band practice.
Should have seen that one coming.
Oh boy. All right.
Stevie, you don't have a joke for the group?
No, I'm not the comedian tonight. I'm afraid.
Oh man, your daughter's not still
Mine
sitting
would
there. Can
be.
she hear
I've got one, but it'd be too bad. Warden wouldn't get it. Number 2 for you, Ward.
What does that mean? Warden wouldn't get it.
I think he's calling you dumb. It's how
Yeah, he
you
is.
You
You
need
didn't think
to
I'd
get
get
on
that either, evidently.
I
Hey,
think you need to get on
how
a
many-
plane tonight and go.
You know,
kick some ass.
it's just
How many
another
shots has he
example of
took at me
Stevie.
tonight, Joe?
He doesn't like Texans. He doesn't like Texas. He always bitches about the Cowboys, the Longhorn. He just doesn't like Texas. And he doesn't like Texas. So it just, thank you, Joe, for seeing what I have to go through each and
Texas
every week.
A&M.
What an ass, God.
That's not a Texas thing. That's something that should be like shipped off somewhere else out of the state. That's like, that's the redheaded stepchild we don't talk about. All righty. Number 10. Got to be an
Number 2.
80s heel.
Not 10.
Number
That's why
2, yeah.
Texas.
Yeah, I'm
there
going
is a
back in
Texas
time here.
thing.
Whatever, Stevie. You got me talking.
That's that
Number 2.
education system.
I can't picture somebody, but I see an 80s heel. Maybe a I don't know. Trying to think, but nothing happens. I don't know.
Yep.
Maybe you can give me some
Texas.
ideas. See, Joe, what I have to go through?
Yeah.
Not for the innocent.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Just
that's a good.
just kind of
that's a
with
good-
that guitar thing, and kind of with that kind of different kind of guitar. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
can see that.
Who do
That's
you
on my
think would be
honorable
good for a real bad dude? Somebody
It'd have to
bad.
be
Good one.
had to be a bigger guy, I think. It's like kind of slow coming to the ring because it's kind of a slower
Yeah.
song.
Maybe a
jeez.
missing link. I don't know. Maybe.
No, that's too dark for him. I could see Demolition coming like that.
That's
Why
a
would
good
you
one,
ruin a
too.
great song with such a horrible team?
Oh
just
my
saying.
god!
Demolition. Man, that's something that that's
Demolition
like
did better than I thought they were going to do. They ended up
Yeah.
being pretty.
I just couldn't
okay.
get into them because the guys looked old, like your uncle's putting on Kiss makeup, dude. I mean, it's just
They weren't really that. There was one of them that was old. Bill Eadie
the
was
Mass
kinda-
Superstar or whatever.
Yeah,
Then
he was,
Khrushchev,
but
then
Crusher
then
Khrushchev.
Crusher Khrushchev or whatever.
Yeah, he wasn't that old.
Maybe the Russians coming out to this song. That'd be a good one.
Nikita.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see Nikita coming out. Not for the innocent now. Yeah. So
That is against my religion.
number 2 for me is a repeat. Joe had this earlier. War Machine. So we don't have to talk about that. But all right, Joe.
Yeah, the less we have to hear you talk, the better. So
Boom!
fine.
Oh my god! I swear you need to get on a plane and kick his ass because he's messing with you now. I think we need to film this.
We're
we
gonna,
do this all the time.
We're gonna have-
How many times have you guys been in the same room?
never.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
We act like we've known each other our whole lives, right?
How long
Yeah.
you guys been doing this podcast now?
What, 6
To
months,
get,
7?
see, I've been doing it for, this is my 3rd year, but I've had him on for like the last 6 months.
Have you ever thought about going to this thing called the Rockin' Pod? Have you ever heard of that?
I've thought about it. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
guys should go and finally meet at the Rockin' Pod in Nashville.
You got a wrestling ring in there, and so we can.
I'll get one.
I tried to get Stevie before it can't. I was like, earlier this year, I was like, hey, man.
You wanted me to go to
Aerosmith is
Vegas
playing
to see
Vegas, we can
Aerosmith
go
and
see
see how that
Aerosmith.
turned out.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we didn't go see him and he's sick again. But I couldn't get Stevie to leave the house, man. I think he likes Stevie's stuck in a John Cougar Mellencamp song, Small Town. He doesn't like to leave,
Hey,
I mean,
nothing
he
wrong
just,
with
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's
Well,
his,
there's only- But see, in his little town, he could be the king because he's only 20 people, and he's the football coach,
yeah.
and he does he's the
Commissioner.
cameraman for the professional wrestling local league.
Oh, he also shoots the local chapter of Bang Bros. He's the cameraman for that too. So
That's
Only-
know what?
only
Listen,
Ward would come
everybody
up
knows
with
what
Stevie-
that is, though, don't they?
Stevie-
They all know what that is.
Stevie, I'm letting you know right now. I think Warden wants to fight you.
Nah, I'm
Careful
old.
what you wish for.
He beat me up, man.
You let me tell you, it's March. You guys should really look into coming. I'll be there. Mate, I would love to hang out with you guys and do it. It's called the Rockin' Pod. It'll give you the opportunity to meet a bunch of different podcasters, make some connections, meet people. You do your show live from there or record from there. All these people come walking by. You can ask them about your favorite whatever. It doesn't matter. Have them do the show, and then you guys can have a drink. I'll have a drink with you. It'll be that would be a lot of fun.
Joe, I can meet you there, and we can just Skype or whatever it is. Stevie, he ain't leaving the house, man. I think he's got a tracking device that he can't leave the county. Roscoe won't let him go.
Roscoe.
I'm gonna send you guys the information so you guys can think
good.
about it.
Keep
Seriously.
throwing shade, Ward.
All
Keep
right.
throwing shade.
Listen, see here.
I
it
could have
is.
said Enos,
right.
but I said Roscoe. Come on.
I'm making you guys the Joey and Sonny of this show.
Which is which?
I think the Warden is definitely Joey. And Stevie gets to be Hollywood or
Hollywood.
Little Town.
In Little
Tiny,
Town.
tiny
So-
town.
So you think I talk more shit than Stevie does?
No,
Wow.
I'm not sure. They both talk a lot of shit. That's just so
They
you
both
know.
do. You got to listen to it more.
They both
Warden.
talk a lot of shit.
I thought
and
I'd get them.
I-
yeah,
Before
I
I
know.
go on with my final thing, have you guys ever seen Wrestling with Joey Licious?
Yes.
You-
It's hilarious.
Yeah. Okay. So So Warden, if you get an opportunity, Joey on my show, Joey Casada, he has a TV show on Amazon called Wrestling with Joey Licious. You could probably get it on. You could get it all the episodes on YouTube, I think, as well. Okay,
Yeah,
just
you
look
can.
it up and watch. Start with one. I mean, he's had
when you
Piper on.
Oh, I've seen
Tito
those.
Santana's
Yeah, I've
been
seen
on
those. Yeah, some of
Yeah,
those
yeah,
often. Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah. Tito Santana.
yeah, Tito, and he just recently had Jake the Snake Roberts.
What did Jesse Ventura call him? Chico.
Chico, yeah.
Yeah, Chico Santana. All right, my number one has got to be a Bray Wyatt kind of character. Got to be a Bray Wyatt kind of character. Although this Bray Wyatt kind of character would actually wrestle. Let's see. He's been back, 9 months, and he hasn't stepped in the ring yet?
Has he been back that long? Wow.
No, I'm just making shit up.
I saw the Lundra Blaze almost did that thing again, so I guess she's going back to him.
No, Alyssa. Not
Alexa
Blaze. Hello, Alexa. Hello, I'm in the 80s. Still got Strutter on the mind or Killer.
Yeah, or Catholic schoolgirls.
Yep.
And then apparently you're a cameraman for some gay porn thing or something.
Oh, it's not gay. It's not gay. So
I don't know. When I say the name of it again,
Bang Bros.
Sounds gay.
Yeah.
What is Bang Bros? No, I don't know what it is.
No, you don't want to know.
Stevie knows. He works there, of course.
You're gonna make me Google.
Oh, it's
this?
just no.
Am I gonna get arrested?
It's just a bunch of dudes that supposedly pick up chicks, but it's all scripted, you know.
Oh, of course.
It's like wrestling with porn.
And a bus.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, I forgot about the bus. See,
Creatures of the Night. Creatures of the Night.
Good one.
That would have to be the whole. That would have to be, the beginning. That would be, and that was my drumming. So there you go. I hope that wasn't too close. You're getting a copyright strike.
Yeah, we're gonna get strike for sure. That's the second strike.
You're gonna get kicked off YouTube. Yeah.
All right, Ward,
they warn me every week.
I was getting ready to say, I know with as much as y'all do up there, I know y'all get, because I sat there listening one night and I was like, how are these guys not getting dinged? And I did hear you say when you had the guy that did we had him on the Phantom of the Park.
Yeah.
Thing, you were telling, okay, it's off YouTube now. It's off YouTube.
We tried to do the whole thing. We did do the whole thing, but they kicked us off a couple of different times. But as soon as the copywritten part was over, it showed back up.
Went back up.
And then it would go away and then it showed back up.
Amazing. It's amazing how they can do it that quick.
No, they know what they're looking for.
Yep. All right, Warden, you're number one.
My number one and number two could have been interchanged. I think they kind of go together. It's kind of the same, off the same album. Young and Wasted. Maybe a young Chris Jericho. I don't know.
RVD.
Yeah,
I can see that.
That would be a good one.
Yeah, or even Riddle.
Oh, that's too soon. Too soon.
Oh man,
Riddle's. You had to know that was coming though.
Or it could be Mandy Rose.
She just got dumped, didn't she?
You know why?
That was different. That was different though.
Well, I think they warned her not to do that anymore, and she said, "Fire me because I make more money doing the OnlyFans." I guess.
Well,
so what's the deal with Riddle? He ain't coming back.
I don't know.
He's going back to rehab.
Yeah,
it's like his fifth time. It's like his fifth. He's too over not to come back. He's too.
Yeah. It just depends. Well,
that wasn't a shocker. I mean, he's a stoner.
No, it wasn't a shocker to me either.
Yeah.
But RVD never got
young and wasted. Wow, dude, that Riddle. Woo, that was a good one.
Yeah. Somebody brought up a good point today. We're talking about Mandy Rose. Them firing her for that. So they were like, so you're going to fire her for this, but the Usos get a DUI and you give them the tag belts the next week.
Usos get 2 or 3 DUIs, especially Jimmy or one of them.
Yeah.
And there was some girl that I guess she used to be a wrestler saying, you fire her for that, but you wanted me to be in a lesbian angle or something like that. So it was, I don't know who it was. I think it was a former.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, good for her, because when the WWE's done with you, they just let you go. They just look what they did to China. Like, man, bye. She was still over and still popular. Bye.
China didn't have an option except to go to Japan. Now Mandy Rose has got an option here. She can go to AEW.
I don't think she's going to wrestle. You see that Sasha Banks is going to AEW.
Yeah. I heard
that's the rumor. Sasha Banks, yeah.
She's going to be the partner for Saraya.
Yep, because they're buddies.
Because she's took on some dates in Japan. I know that.
Yeah,
you know how
I just getting back in shape.
Japan and AEW are working together, so
yeah,
that's possible. All right, my number one.
What happened to the? I mean, you guys are wrestling fans. Sorry, Stevie, but what was happened to Naomi? Is she gone or what? Is she back or what?
She didn't ever come back. I don't
not
think.
back.
But she's got ties in with the Usos, so
I'm about to say
married to one of them.
She was lucky. She was lucky to even be there, as far as I'm concerned. It's just I never thought she was good. She's pretty, and but she's not a good talker, in my opinion. Not a good talker, not a good wrestler. What's her finishing move? That butt thing. She throws her butt up and runs into somebody and knocks them out, and they can't get up.
You remember,
just like her father-in-law, huh?
You remember how she got her start, though?
She was a pterodactyl or whatever.
Total Divas.
One of those girls.
Funkadactyl or
Funkadactyl. Yeah, with I guess they call him Tyrus now. I forgot what he was called back when he was in WWE.
The Funkasaurus.
The Funkasaurus.
So is The Rock? Is The Rock on his way back? Is he going to be at Roman at SoFi or what?
All right. So did you guys know? I don't watch his TV show. Okay, I don't. But that somebody put a few different things together. One of them was an episode where, in an episode, there's a kid climbing on him. It's Joseph, who's Roman, and he's climbing on the Dwayne or the Rock, and he's like, "Acknowledge me," and the Rock grabs him, throws him on the ground, and he goes, "We're not ready for that. A match that big is going to have to be at WrestleMania." And then there's another thing they threw in there where they asked the Rock, who's the head of the table?
I saw that.
Said, you're looking at the head of the table. And then there was another thing where there's a few things, but they worked it into his television show. He's like, acknowledge me. And he grabs him and throws him on the ground. And he goes, the world's not ready for that. A match that big is going to have to be at WrestleMania. And I was like,
it's coming. They're going to take the belt off Roman soon, and then you're gonna see him and The Rock at WrestleMania.
Well, he wants to take time off to do Hollywood stuff, so he may be,
I think on Friday. Spoiler alert, maybe. I think on Friday we're gonna get Solo and Sammy turning on the brothers.
Oh, really?
You think? Yeah, man, you think he's going to turn this soon? Sammy's going to turn this soon, right after?
Man,
the Hell in the Cell.
This past week, if you watch, first of all the celebrating, Solo isn't into it. He's not into the celebrating or the partying or acting like a fool. He could be sent there by The Rock. He could be there doing recon. Anyway,
Solo, the one with the arms crossed all the time.
That's Solo. And then, but you notice that he's always with Sammy. He started going out with Sammy everywhere. He would be with Sammy all the time, everywhere they would go, right? And then, and then this week, one of the Usos, because I don't know, I can't tell them apart. They look deadly the same. Told Sammy he should trim his beard and cut his hair, because now that he's with the Usos, he's got a big payoff coming this Friday, and I think that they're going to go to turn on him, and I think Solo and him are going to knock him out and be like, "What do you think? We're stupid?"
Solo's gonna side with Sammy. You're saying?
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's
interesting. Roman's gonna have a shit fit because his thing's falling apart. Okay.
The bloodline.
I just don't think Sammy's gonna turn yet because it's too soon after he earned their trust. They got to keep building it up.
No way.
WWE, they like to run shit out. So
slow burn I get, but I'm gonna tell you right now. I bet it
They got
happens day after tomorrow.
They've got.
I say
to
it
be
happens at the
building
Rumble.
something
I say they're in the Rumble when something happens at the Rumble. That's my opinion.
Well, they may start the whole
Oh,
process.
that's possible. Yeah. But I think that they go to. I think they go to kick Sammy's ass, and him and Solo were too smart.
Stevie, we gotta do a wrestling episode with Joe. Like kind of thoughts on stuff. Maybe not a top 10 list, but let's kind of like a state of wrestling or something like that,
That would be cool.
I'll bring Joey.
Oh yeah.
I'll bring Joey. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
he might be able to. He might be able to bring Jericho.
That would be something there.
We'll see. I'll see what we could do. You guys work it out. Maybe in the new year.
Yeah. We'll work on it. That would be awesome. So, finishing this up, my number one, and this is going to shock probably both of you. It's an instrumental, and it's
Love Song from Kiss. I can't
Exactly.
believe that made the list. Am I lying? Am I right?
No.
Okay.
It's probably he's an ace guy. It's probably Fractured Mirror.
No.
Escape from
Love
the
Theme
Escape from the Island.
Love Theme from Kiss.
No, it's Escape from the Island. I like it. I love it. The sirens and everything.
I can see that.
Yeah. The way it starts off.
I can see the Ultimate Warrior, somebody first running down. I can see that. Yeah.
It had to be a high energy, quick to the ring. But yeah, I could see that. So Escape from the Island is my number one.
I didn't see that coming, Stevie. A good choice.
Well,
Yeah, that was good.
I could have put.
You got 1 out of 10. Good. I'm kidding.
Boom. Fighting
Here
words.
we go again. See there?
Just a compliment that I got to follow up by something else. A dig.
You guys are like
don't know.
trolls to each other.
I could be training down here with these Rage wrestlers too. So you better watch out.
The train pain. You gonna put me on the train pain, Stevie? The pain train or whatever you said it was.
You see, you got to when he comes on the show, because he's going to be on the show. I'm going to tell him you got his name wrong. So we're gonna.
I'm dyslexic. Sue me.
So let's see. We're finished now. All right, Warden. Well, Joe, you have any honorable mentions?
I don't actually. I went through and thought about it really like hardcore. That was my 10.
I got you. What you got, Warden?
Just so you know, for my show, I do less research than I did for your show. You probably could take all my shows and put them together, and I don't know. It's all we wing it every week.
We appreciate it, man. Kind of like I did this week.
Yeah, you winged it. That's for sure.
My hooligan. Lonely is the Hunter. I love Animalize. King of the Nighttime World. Have that little car crash out there and just kick it off like that.
Mm-hmm.
Stevie's would
have been a good one too.
I think Stevie's theme song would be Flaming Youth, but that's another story. While the city sleeps. And I had Almost Human, but I picked that. It was on my at first, so what are your 65, Stevie?
No, I'm gonna stick to. I'll tell you, Hate would be one of them.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and it won't shock me just the solo part.
Yeah,
like they did on the intro for Phantom of the Park. They could just start at the solo. I think that would be a good one. 100,000 Years, I think, would be a good one. Kind of slow one.
That'd be a long ass intro or a long ass walk.
Yeah, but the
slow.
Undertaker could walk out to it.
Yeah,
exactly.
I could go out and take a piss, get a beer, drink the beer, go get another beer,
have a smoke, whatever.
Have a pretzel. Take the time to knock the salt off of it because they put too much of that on there. And I'm old now. I
can't have salt.
No.
Are you done, Stevie? I was going to ask a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, figuring that some of us did the wrong list, name a non-Kiss song that would be probably like a big pick for you for like a non-Kiss song. For
Master of Puppets.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mine would be Probably my favorite Aussie song, Rock and Roll Rebel. I just love that intro, the guitar, and just
That's the 80s now. That's one for the 80s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought Rock and Roll Rebel would be a good intro for like a radio show or something. That just, that kind of like While the City Sleeps, just kind of or like Thrills in the Night, just,
Okay. So
what's your song outside?
I don't really have one.
You don't know anything but Kiss or what? You don't know anything but Kiss?
I mean, everything I'm thinking of has been pretty much every time I'm thinking about it, it's somebody's already used it. You know what I mean?
No.
Like Iron Man.
Box, Stevie. Box. Think outside box. See box?
I concentrated on my list this week.
Well, if you would have told me the right one, we wouldn't have had this problem.
Just damn.
I did.
You did in your own way. When you write me back after texting, everybody else, so.
Okay.
I'm just your second call. I'm your last. What's that Leanne Womack song? I'm your last call. That's what I am, Stevie.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to go ahead and point out that this fight will happen in person at the Rockin' Pod in March. Nashville, Tennessee. They're going to be there. I'm going to be the referee. It's no holds barred.
Easy for you to say.
Weapons and everything. And if they cheat, there's no cheating. Everything is cheating. Is no holds barred. No rules.
You can't.
So if they do anything where they're not cheating, I get to hit them with a belt.
Darn.
And the loser gets peed on by the winner.
Oh, God.
And the winner gets to sign the belt, right?
Absolutely.
We'll see. You better watch it, Warren.
Stevie's not going to leave the house. Stevie's not going to leave the house.
I can think of nothing worse than getting knocked out at a bar and waking up covered in piss. Damn.
No, it depends on who's peeing on you, because
No.
There's videos
That's
of
much.
people. Some
Too
people.
much.
Some people probably like that. So
that's too much.
you brought up the pee thing. I mean,
you mean to tell me when I said getting peed on, somebody might be touching themselves right now over that?
Not with Stevie. Somebody else maybe.
Oh, okay. I don't see Stevie's hand.
1980s Missy Hyatt maybe. I don't know.
My hands are not.
There's some people that pay for that. So hey, to get beat up, hey, who knows? Whatever you're into, man.
That's intense.
Exactly. All right. So any last words?
We couldn't go any lower.
Yeah. We've hit it now. We've hit rock bottom. No pun intended.
It took Joe to take us there. Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome. I can
go
lower.
Hey, that'll probably mean more downloads though.
Just don't talk about worms, right?
No, I don't like the worm eating worms thing. Every time that happens, I was.
He's fine, just not the worm.
Don't pee on me either. You're one of you are gonna pee on the other one, and
that's right.
I'm gonna.
I don't think that happening, because only one of us will probably show up, and it ain't. Oh, this guy.
What you see?
It's the other way.
That's that Texas thing.
It's the ghost. It's the
that Texas thing.
It's Mr. North Carolina here. Oh, I got a game that day. Oh, whatever.
It's Ward.
It's okay.
You better start getting in shape now, Ward. That's all I got to say.
Shit, that ain't gonna happen. March shit. That was 4 months away.
No games.
It's out there, Warden. Any last words, Warden?
Thanks, Joe. It was nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for trying to instigate a fight between me and Stevie. I just thought we were playing around. I didn't know really that we wanted to kill each other.
Instigate. I'm sitting here watching it, and I'm just like, I'm that guy that's standing on the outside going, kick his ass.
It's like Kramer versus Kramer.
Stirring the pot. Stirring the pot.
Stirring the pot.
It's all good. I mean, all joking aside, I love Stevie. He's a good dude. And I tell people that a lot of times too, that, I mean, a lot of people talk shit about him, but it's like, no, man, just kidding. Nah, Stevie's a great guy, and he hope he knows it. It's just a lot of it's just joking. That's the way I feel.
Oh yeah, we know.
We both got pretty thick skin. Yeah.
I know you guys are friends. Of course, I'm teasing. You were on that show where the dudes film each other. We were just talking about it. The one that
Stevie, I think he just cut us both down, not just me.
He said you were on that show.
He said you guys.
I wasn't
together.
on that show.
You're like, get her.
Jeez. All right, let's get out of
You're
here.
gonna edit that out.
It's yeah.
All right, Bruce.
It's late for Stevie. It's late. He's got to work like 12 hours tomorrow, so he's
Oh my gosh! If I would kill myself.
So Joe, tell us where we can find you.
Oh, I'm in my basement.
On the internet.
All right. So Podcast Rock City. Let me tell you, after that last comment, nobody's watching. Podcast Rock City we're a weekly live show on Facebook and on YouTube. And it's live, and everybody that watches comments. We get people from all over the world, and even backwoods ass places like North Carolina. And I'm just kidding. Where only 25 people live, and no, I'm just kidding. Of course,
20. It's up.
20.
People moved out. 5 people moved out already since we started the show.
Just in the last 2 hours.
The coolest thing about our show, it is all Kiss. If you're not a fan, although if you're watching this episode, I'm sure you're a fan. The everybody that comes on and watches it with us, they all comment in real time, and we can react to what they're saying. 50, 75 people are watching at once. That's a lot of comments. And then this weekend, Sunday, we are taping our 399th episode.
Awesome.
And 400 has something huge planned, but I can't tell you what it is, because if it falls through, then I'll feel bad. But it is enormous. Like it's pretty big.
So we'll be able to look out for that. So don't let the cat out of the bag. You're like
and
me.
that comes out Christmas Eve. While you guys are waiting on Santa Claus to eat the cookies, drink the milk. Stir in the pot.
I got you.
You can listen to the show, and hopefully it'll be fun, and maybe even a little bit more than usual, a little more info coming into that one.
Okay.
That's all I can say.
Well, we'll be on the lookout for that. You guys check them out. Check out Podcast Rock City. I can tell you for a fact, if you're a Kiss fan, that's between that and Shout It Out Loudcast, you need to be listening to that show.
Fuck those guys. No, I'm kidding.
That's going to be
Just for the record, I love Tom and Zeus. I've broke bread with them. I have drank with them. I have watched concerts with them. We have sat and made fun of karaoke singers together. We've been on the cruise together. We've hung out together. I like to bust it. The thing is, here's the truth, okay? There are a lot of Kiss podcasts, and for some reason, they think we all hate each other. Yeah. They think it's some kind of competition, but really it's not. It's like, it's one of those things that once we all get to hang out, it's like, hey, so everyone, and not to break kayfabe or anything, but at the end of my show every week, I always say, we love Kiss and we love Kiss podcasts. And I always say, most of them anyway. And that's that's bullshit. We don't like any of those motherfuckers. I really do like Tom and Zeus.
Yeah,
they're
I know you
real guys. And
Stevie, you care to comment on Kiss podcasters? No, just kidding.
I'm not gonna make any comment.
Why? You not a fan? You have some you don't like?
No comment.
Tell me when you click this off.
I got him speechless on this one, Joe.
No comment on that. Anyway, we'll talk when we get off. But anyway,
okay.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for sticking with us tonight.
Of
Hope
course.
we didn't mess up your AEW schedule. But
no, man.
Warden, we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
You guys have a great week, and we'll see you next week on The Fly.
Peace.
See ya.
Hold up.